Wednesday, May 7th, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Glad you're with us. A lot to get to today. A lot of college football we're going to get to today. We haven't kind of recapped Hit the Portal in the last few days, and there are a couple of new names that are in. I wanted to go through a couple that have just gone in, and then a couple others that we sort of skipped out on over the last week or so, either being out or not having shows when guys announced. G-Mac, you good this morning?
I'm good this morning. What's happening?
Auburn/Houston safety Keontae Scott has committed to Miami. I actually forgot that he committed to Houston. And I believe that was before the spring, correct? That was a winter commitment to Houston. And so now after a spring practice, he's going to go play at Miami.
That just had to mix it up. Didn't like the humidity.
Maryland is going to get Florida State wide receiver Jordan Scott. Now, he was the number 2 JUCO wide receiver in the 2025 class, which by my math would mean now, like this class that just happened. So again, another one that is basically leaving after being there for what, 3 or 4 months, and now going to a different place. So, you feel like, oh, that's a Florida State wide receiver.
Move around.
Number 2 JUCO wide receiver. It's got to be good. I don't know. But normally you would think Maryland got a good player. Purdue is going to get a commitment from Hershey McLaurin, 139 career tackles at Houston and West Virginia. That's 2 Houston safeties going to big schools, by the way.
Why is Houston just are they the
safety capital of the world?
Are they safety U?
They do have a pretty good recruiter coaching the DBs. Oklahoma, this was for you specifically, is going to get a commitment from Mercer quarterback Whit Neubauer.
Good offense.
He's not there anymore. You don't have to say that anymore.
It still holds
you actually
true.
like the offense that I complimented there because he's at a different place now.
It still holds true.
What do you have on Whit Neubauer? 1,398 yards, 12 touchdowns as a true freshman last year.
Whit Neubauer.
Is this another one we talked about with Troy where, and by the way, I think I was wrong on Troy of the kid playing 1 year of college football. That was all I could find on CFB stats. But yeah, as we were told yesterday by one of our guests, he played at a couple other places.
Oh, boy.
So last year. But just another one of I'll take nothing or a little bit to be a backup as opposed to starting wherever I am now.
That sounds like it could be something. Don't know. But doesn't it make you a little uncomfortable when those situations continue to come to the forefront?
I don't love it.
Come on.
Every team needs a backup and you're one play away, right? I mean, I get that. I'm not saying that's not right, but it's just weird, man. To not play and to be starting somewhere and say, I'm gonna go be second or third string. Like when we talked to Jason Caldwell yesterday and he was talking about how the kid was going to come into Auburn and beat Matthew Caldwell to be third string.
Yeah.
You get up a potential starting job to go be third string somewhere. I can't.
Pretty wild.
My math doesn't compute with that. Kentucky's going to get a commitment from SMU/Oregon wide receiver Ashton Cozart. Have you seen the tape?
I have not seen the tape. What was his first school? I got Oregon.
It was Oregon, then SMU.
Oregon, then SMU. No,
correct.
I hadn't seen the tape.
And I just wonder where are these coaches, Greg, with guys that have been to 2 or 3 other schools?
Oh,
I guess I guess you don't have a choice anymore. You kind of have to, but I mean, whoa.
I don't know how anyone can ever get comfortable with it. I'll never, ever, ever feel comfortable in seeing guys have 7 different helmets.
Ashton Cozart, 6'3", 195 from Flower Mound, Texas.
Oh, Metroplex guy. Big Metro.
Big year last year. Had 1 catch for 24.
That's pretty good yards per reception.
I don't know. I don't know what you're getting, Kentucky. I'd love to help you. I can't. I could go find that 1 catch, I guess. See what game that was in. That was in the Houston Christian game.
What was the score at the time?
I'd have to go get the box score.
Come on.
It doesn't have win in the game. The game was 59-7.
You think it was within striking distance?
Was it ever within striking distance?
No, you think it was within striking distance when he caught that pass?
I'm going to say no because I don't think when they kicked off it was within striking distance.
Oh, no. But it was 0-0.
Correct.
Was it Houston Baptist or Houston Christian?
Baptist is the one that was good for a while, I believe.
Well,
and he left. That coach went somewhere else. I forget the coach's name. Yeah, I believe he took a bigger job.
Yeah, he took the OC job at Western Kentucky, and then he is now the head coach somewhere. I want to say he got Zach Kitley. He got a head coaching job somewhere.
They were 5-7 last year. Houston Christian. They lost to Tarleton
Zach Kitley,
State.
head coach of FAU.
Exactly.
See? Told you.
They lost to Tarleton State. They lost to UTSA. They lost to Southeastern. Southeastern meets just can't be beat. I don't know if that was the one.
Is Southeastern good?
Southeastern got them 37-7. Stephen F. Austin got them 55-6. UI Dub, that's Zach Calzada, got them 45-20. It didn't feel like UTSA 45-7, and Tarleton got them 35-18. It's not the best year.
Not a great one.
Yeah, I don't think that was a competitive ball game.
Could have been.
It wasn't.
Ball just didn't bounce their way.
No. A couple others that we haven't gotten to that I just kind of wanted to try to hit and maybe go over just for a moment. These have already taken place, but we just didn't. I wanted to get to you. Jaden Rashada. Did you see the landing spot here?
No. I have a permanent firewall up for all Jaden Rashada's moves.
Why?
Because he's on school 3 and has never done anything.
No, he's not.
Is he not?
I mean, I technically count it as 4. I count Florida.
I do too. Florida, Arizona State.
He's on school 4.
Georgia. This is 4.
Yeah. Sacramento State.
Sac State.
By the way, I think they hired Shaq as their GM of their basketball program.
I heard that. Because of all the illustrious times that he played at
Sac State's got it going. I don't know if you knew this or not.
It's what?
Going. They got it together.
What's their mascot?
The Turbines.
Not just any type of turbine. Turbine in the ocean. Ocean turbines.
It's a good question.
I think they're the Hornets.
Really? Because I feel like I've seen their logo and it's like the little twisty thing around the S. And so I thought that made me think turbines. What are they?
And it's some kind of snake?
No. What is it?
Sacramento State Snakes would be good. They are the Hornets. You're right.
There you go. See?
Dumb.
Stick with me.
When I think West Coast, I think Hornet.
They don't have, you don't say they don't have Hornets in California?
I don't care, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind. All the cool things out west you could potentially use as your mascot, and you go deep south insect Hornet.
Yeah, I think Ocean Turbine would have been the play.
Heck yeah, it would have.
Oh, these guys.
Wave Riders?
Wave Rider or
Wave
Walkers?
Runner? Wave Walkers.
Wave Walker.
Wave Runners are extinct. Don't need those anymore.
Morning Paddle?
Something.
There could be a lot of good stuff.
The Borders?
The Paddle Outs?
Oregon State's going to get quarterback Ben Gulbranson. I'm sorry, Gulbranson.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, because I just said it.
No,
943 yards and 4 touchdowns last year.
I've had him on a board before.
I bet you have.
I have, 100%. Where is he playing?
I didn't write down the previous destination.
Ben Gulbranson. Hang on. I know I've had this guy on a board before. Hang on.
I failed you on that one.
I love
Rashada, Florida, Arizona State, Georgia, Sacramento State. Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, no, he was at Oregon State.
Oh, he's in the portal. Sorry. Yeah, he's out. He's going somewhere else. He hasn't decided yet, but that's a quarterback that. So have you seen him play? Is somebody going to get a good QB there?
No, but I've definitely had him on a board. I don't know if I've called a game where he actually played, but he was, in 2022, he was the starting quarterback and went 7-1 at Oregon State. But remind you,
Sacramento State couldn't afford him.
In that Las Vegas Bowl against Florida, he was 12-19 for 165 and a touchdown. Also had a rushing touchdown to beat Florida 30-3.
Yeah, but based on the way Florida played in that game,
don't shoot
Judge
the messenger.
Could have completed 7 passes.
He went 7-1 in 2022 on 8 starts. That's pretty sporty.
It's not bad.
I do believe one of his starts, though, they erased like a 4 touchdown deficit by not throwing the ball. I vaguely remember this. I think it was against Oregon.
I know. I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember things like that.
That was, I thought that maybe was the previous year, but I could be wrong. Because that was definitely a Jonathan Smith coach team that did that.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a fun one for you guys riding around on your way to work. Ask yourself this question. When you're just kind of sitting around thinking about different things.
Yeah.
Oregon State head football coach. Can you name him?
Trent Bray.
I'm actually really impressed.
He was the DC before.
I mean, how far down the list of guesses could most people have gotten before you got to Trent Bray as the Oregon State head football coach?
I think Catherine Cubelic would have gotten it.
No.
Well, I've seen him. Sunbelt days.
Yeah, she didn't even know him from the Gulf South Conference.
Yeah, no, I the only reason I know that is because he was the DC beforehand. So.
We didn't talk about this one also. From a quarterback perspective, we mentioned it just a little bit yesterday. Syracuse is going to get Steve Angeli, Notre Dame backup quarterback last year. I feel like this is a good get. We both thought there was a great chance he would win the Notre Dame job. What does Syracuse?
I don't know if he ever got much of a chance. Doesn't sound like.
Doesn't feel like it. But what is Syracuse getting in this QB that you think might be able to be close to what they had a year ago?
Steady, solid, accurate, not a crazy huge arm, not a ridiculously high ceiling, but just solid. I think he actually has some traits that are somewhat similar than the guy they had last year, Kyle McCord. He's not a guy that's going to just blow you away with his physical skill set, but he's accurate. He's good in the underneath. I think he understands how to process. He'll get through his stuff really quickly. I think he's a good pickup for Syracuse at this point of the year. I mean, a really good pickup. Now it's just about getting him acclimated because I think he's obviously going to be a smart guy, but man, it's hard to kind of get those reps and do that as quickly as one might assume.
All right, some others in the portal. We've got Florida State offensive lineman Josh Raynard, who's in. Tennessee's going to get DB Colton Hood, that's formerly of Auburn and Colorado. North Carolina is going to get South Carolina offensive lineman Ja'Kai Moore. He's actually played a little bit. I don't think he's a game changer, but he's got experience. Yeah. Jacksonville State is going to get Colorado DB Trevor Words. UNLV, this is a name you will remember and recall, is going to get linebacker Justin Flo, former or still 5-star from Oregon and Arizona.
Yeah, he was at Oregon for a while. I don't remember anything he did at Arizona.
He didn't play much.
Oh, boy. Why
we talked to him about him in the bowl. They just said it wasn't, the light didn't come on.
Why you got to do that?
I'm telling you what happened.
Why you got to do that?
Utah gets wide receiver Tobias Merriweather from Notre Dame and Cal. Syracuse also is going to get former Texas wide receiver Jonte Cook, who has some extra stuff going on, but is a pretty good player. Florida State offensive lineman T.J. Ferguson, who we've talked about, formerly from Alabama, and Georgia DB Chris Paul. And the final portal discussion of the day will surround the Duke Blue Devils, who have been probably more busy and more interesting in the portal than a lot of people would have thought when we got to the offseason. They are going to get tight end. That's what it's listed as.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember what people said on this show when they called in and tweeted in about how wrong we were for that label. When I get to this, I want you all to remember that because you're probably driving around right now and you were one of them. Sat there and said, yeah, the head coach make him a tight end. He's not a good coach. Former Utah and Auburn tight end Landon King's going to Duke. The website has him as a tight end, Greg, not me. Blame rivals.
Yeah, but
it's not my fault.
The coach that suggested the tight end move.
You seen him run? He's a receiver. Okay.
The coach that suggested the tight end move also couldn't score more points in the second half than the first half. So how good a coach is he?
He's a bad coach. We know that. Just because of that. Any coach that can't score more points in the second half than the first half in any game ever should immediately be fired. That's what we're told by local media in the state of Alabama. So don't blame us for it. That's just what we're told.
That's
the standard.
Important.
That is the standard of offensive coaching in the state of Alabama. You score more in the second half than the first half, or you're not a good coach.
Them the standards.
Apparently, Kyle Whittingham, bad coach too, because they kept him at tight end.
Oh boy, see, tried to tell you. Whittingham had 1A games.
Just letting y'all know. Just putting it
We
in
actually
there for
did
you.
a Utah game a couple years ago, and he was actually not bad for him at tight end. He was fine. Not great.
I don't think you're allowed to say he's a tight end, Greg, because have you seen him run?
Yeah, I have, and he can't run. That's why he plays tight end. I know. Shocking, right?
You just showed up ready to be mean today, didn't you?
No, I just showed up ready to be honest.
It's fine.
I'm tired. These kids make money now. I don't feel bad for them. So.
There's a list that has been generated on Spring Portal Impact. What players will have the biggest impacts on their team this upcoming fall that have transferred through the spring window? We will discuss a few of those and let you know our thoughts on which impacts will be the greatest. First, I'll tell you about your CBD store. If you're having trouble sleeping, if you have arthritis, if your pet has arthritis, trouble getting around the house, trouble moving around every day, your CBD store has answers for your problems. Skincare, gut health for your pet, they can help with that. They've helped a couple of pets in my household with arthritis, being able to move around, being able to get up and down the stairs. They can help yours also. Maybe you need better focus throughout the course of the day. Maybe you need some weight loss. The Trim by SunMed on the shelves now at the largest brick and mortar CBD retailer in the world. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. They've got the stamp seal. Go check them out today. One of their 3 locations. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cage in Cleaver, Trustful just off 459, and now downtown in 5 Points. Your CBD store where good health hits home. We will discuss Spring Portal impacts next on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 7:20 if you're moving around here on Jocks 94.5. Watch live on YouTube every day. Search WJOX. And John, you're saying in the break it's going to be tough for people to move around today?
If you're flying, yes. Well, weather. Okay, yeah. Let's.
What's your thought process here?
Well, if you were coming in off 2059, there was some kerfuffle off 216 that made me come in hot like I was straight out of the sun.
Well, what about air travel? You said that's going to be a problem.
Air travel, yes. Today is the day, I believe, that the real ID, the star ID, becomes active. So if you don't have that star in your upper left corner of your driver's license, if that's your only form of identification, you won't be able to fly.
I actually did this not too long ago because I knew we've seen it for what, Greg, 2 years? And,
they've let us know.
Finally, it was starting to get close, and I was kind of, I got to actually go do this now. I can't even imagine being in a TSA line today.
Oof. Now, if you have a passport, you're fine. If you just have your driver's license, that needs to have the star ID, really, whatever that is. It's a extra layer of security. But if you have a passport and you don't bring that today. Basically, if you're flying today and you didn't update your license, bring your passport.
Yeah, I think the last 7 times I've hit clear, they've asked me, you have your star ID, right? Like, I don't know. You guys have a retina scan on me. You should know if I have a star ID.
I'm about to say that I don't understand why the star ID is not. Oh, you put a star on there? We're good.
I get those from
I will say I don't know what's
store.
different about it. Like, what's different about? I mean, I understand that it has that on it, but is there more information? Is there a different hologram? Is there
not to my knowledge?
Is it less traceable? What is the difference?
I don't know. I mean, I could tell when we changed from like the $100 bills. Okay, you made Ben Franklin's face bigger. Oh, okay, you put blue. I can see a difference. Now it's just a gold star in the upper corner.
That's going to be trouble though today, because there's a lot of people that aren't going to have the. They're not going to have the star, and they're not going to have their passport.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
And then they're going to try to. They're going to try to haul what home, and then get back.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good day to have clear today.
Really good day to have clear, but then again, maybe clear might need your star ID too. I don't know. With clear, when I first started, it was the greatest thing ever. I'd walk through there, one facial scan, we're good to go, straight to the front of the line. Now with clear, it's like, show me your. Can you please show me your ticket, sir? Scan it. Go over there, scan it.
It doesn't happen all the time.
Go it again, scan it. Show me your ID, sir. Scan it. I need a full body cavity search before I can let you into the security line at pre-check. It's like gotten worse and worse and worse. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it.
No, you're making it sound worse.
It's not worth the money.
I hate it.
It's not that bad.
I can get through Birmingham security faster by walking through the regular line than I can through clear.
That's incorrect. Yeah, that's false.
That's 100%.
Not. It's
that
not.
Happened.
No, it isn't. You may get through the initial part of the line, but then guess what you have to do after that?
Take your shoes off?
Yep.
Well,
and take your laptop out, and your iPad out, and your iPad mini out, and your iPad touch has to come out, and your headphones have to come out.
iPad
You're not
touch?
Getting through that line. You're not getting through that line.
Man, it's a classic now.
First of all, I don't have any.
iPod touch,
how many different versions of electronics do you have?
2. They all have to come out of your bag, separate bin for each one of them.
Well,
You're not making better time over there. You're not.
Yep, I can do it better than clear. Clear stinks.
I will say clear in New Orleans, you better have it. Clear in Detroit, you better have it. I'll just say that.
I don't fly to
New Orleans. The New Orleans line
once a year.
is out of control every single time. It doesn't matter what time of day, what day of week. It's 157 people, bare minimum.
When are you flying out of New Orleans?
When I do LSU games because they have directs to Charlotte.
Oh, so you go straight to Charlotte.
Yeah.
There's not direct to Charlotte from Baton Rouge?
5 times. No, Baton Rouge is basically Birmingham. There's not a lot of connection.
Like 3 or 4.
It's connect everywhere.
Yeah.
Like
we
send
can
me
fly
through Dallas to go to
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Pass. I'll drive 45 minutes to a bigger airport that has beignets.
There you go.
Not that I get
herein
in the morning,
lies.
but they do. I was thinking about it every time I walk past it.
Here's the route. Oh, okay, it's about food.
Yeah.
Also, with Clear, you can say this has happened to me multiple times. You can say it's not good anymore. I'm going to show my ID. I will say, and I've caught on to their ruse. I know what they're doing when they do the whole have your ID out. Either they don't want to do something with their scanner, or the scanners aren't working, and that's when you have to show it to the person also. Because I kind of overheard them one day.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't put it in the scanner. Can you just get your ID out?
So
wait, that's my fault.
Here we go.
It's my fault that I paid for this service and you're not deciding to do it correctly.
So you're telling me their machines are the McFlurry machines?
Noted. Basically, yes.
Okay.
But as I think we've had the discussion on the show before, should you, Star ID or not, leave your identification at home?
No.
You can still fly if you have clear. Just throwing that out there. I may or may not have done it 5 or 6 times. Now,
yes.
Here is the big problem. Did you win the lottery?
No, Meredith has a Star ID.
Okay.
So when we travel tomorrow, we're not going to have issues.
Here's the big problem.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Let's go.
When you have clear in your departure city, but they don't have it in your return city.
Yeah, that's
also happened to me a couple times. And that is when you're going to have the 45-minute breakdown of your entire life with TSA.
Sir, why are you traveling? Sir, what are these? Sir, what is that?
Your whole life is going to be discussed in a matter of an hour. It's going to take a while to get through there.
what I've noticed is.
So you've actually can get through security with an ID.
100%. If you have clear.
No, and if there's no clear.
You can make it. It's going to take you 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I had to fill out paperwork. I had to do interviews with 2 different people. This has happened 3 or 4 times, by the way, mainly going to Charlotte and coming back. Charlotte doesn't have it. And I got stuck there. San Antonio does, because I have been there 37 times in the last 3 years.
You know, the gate agents by name.
May have forgotten my ID a couple of times going there. And then thankfully they had it coming back. And thankfully we stay at the same place. And the lady who checks me and remembers me. And so when I don't have my ID, she's like, it's okay. I remember who you are. Thank you. Now you get to a place that doesn't take Apple Pay and you got problems.
Oh, okay. Now
you're a little limited there.
The one thing I've noticed when I've traveled, because I have TSA pre-check, is if I travel to a place I've never been, automatically I'm pulled out for like a full screen. Leaving from Birmingham,
that's why
it's always fine.
Place you've never been.
It feels like maybe it's just me, but like over the past few years, every time I went, oh, okay, like I went to Langham's wedding a couple years ago. Never flew to Colorado. My girl went through fine. I had to.
I got 1 or 2 of those this year, and I never thought about that might be the reason, is that I had never been there before. So that's interesting, though. Okay. Have you had the full screen recently, Greg, where they pull you aside and empty your bags? And
no. Because everybody I know, everybody at the airport knows me. Like, I have had a couple challenges.
Can you clip that and hold it so we can use that later in the show?
It's true. Like, I fly the same times every single week. So I know all the TSA agents, every single one of them. Like it's, hey, where
I
you
feel
going?
Like I fly at all times and still don't know any of them.
Well, I fly at the same times. If you flew on the same flights pretty much every week, that means the TSA agents would be there at around the same time. If they're working the same shift they worked the week before, you're going to get to know them. So I see them on Tuesday mornings. I see them on Wednesday nights. I pretty much feel like I know everybody at the Birmingham airport. I know Jay at the Delta area. I know everybody.
He's making up names.
I'm dead serious. Jay's been there forever. Since
Billy?
I switched to Delta.
Bobby and bag handling. Know that guy?
Don't know him.
Good old Jonathan.
Susie at the gate agent.
Don't know her.
She's great. Old Betty at the Starbucks.
Nope.
Mitchell's been my man for ages.
Every time I come through.
Watch, you're gonna go over. You're gonna look at the Delta, and you're gonna be checking the bag, and you're gonna notice a guy that just has J on his name tag. And there's Gregory that's down there at Delta as well. Same name. My boy. He's
my guy.
He's a gate agent.
Yep. He hooks me up.
I know all the folks. I mean, I've traveled, and if you just had a little care for people, you'd probably know them too.
More importantly, the folks know you, as you stated before. That's the most important.
No, I said I know everybody.
I think you said everybody knows you.
They do. I mean, I hate to break it to you. It's kind of a reality at this point. I'm getting ice cream with my kids. I'm getting ice cream with my kids out in front. And there's like people like honking their horn yesterday. I was like, goodness gracious. It's ridiculous. But anyways, back to the original point. If for whatever reason I didn't have my ID, I don't think it would be as big of a hurdle. Now, I've never not have it, too buttoned up. But
no, you can do it. I'm just telling you, it's a pain.
Like I'm not saying it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's just not going to be fun. And I also know the way you travel, as far as when you get to the airport and when you get on a plane.
Does it stress you out?
No, it doesn't stress me out. I'm not far in front of you. It could easily become a real problem for you. Greg boards the plane 5 minutes before the door closes.
Thereabouts.
gets to the airport 8 minutes before the door closes. Unless he wants coffee. If he wants coffee, 12 minutes before the door closes.
And I have the coffee ordered, so I can literally just stop, grab it. I don't even stop walking. I just grab it.
Like a marathon runner, 100%. Just keep walking.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Okay.
Well, he knows Betty at Starbucks. She hands it to him.
Right.
And gives him a little water shot, too, so on his way.
No, you do the you do the mobile order.
Yeah. Just don't get your terminals mixed up.
I leave my house 1 hour before my flight is wheels up.
That's a stretch. I would say under.
I have done it under, but anything under does become. I,
and I'm further away from the airport, but it's just you consistently push that envelope. So if you were to get to the airport and it wouldn't be at home because this wouldn't happen to you here, but if you did that somewhere else and all of a sudden did not have ID, you're not making your flight.
Yeah, we got.
And
problems.
they're not gonna care that you're taking off because you literally have like 2 forms that you have to fill out the entire page. 3 different people have to talk to you. It's lengthy.
I might have my passport with me at all times too.
Well, Cole,
Smart.
is it possible because
Mine's
he knows
expired.
everyone at the airport that they'll wait for him if he is
It's fair.
No,
they might
hold the plane.
Oh, that's
for
correct.
him.
It's fine. Yeah,
no, they won't. I promise you, they won't. They will not hold the plane. For
Do you know
anybody.
Johnny in the tower?
No.
If you did, he'd hold the plane.
We need a ground stoppage.
There's a bird on the runway.
There's a bird in the sky in Jefferson County. We cannot take off under these circumstances. Could have a bird strike.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, it's not fun.
No,
it's not fun when that happens.
I do think though that traveling has been made easier by things like Clear, but the problem is Clear has actually become harder since Clear was once cool.
Yeah.
You cannot disregard the fact that Clear now stinks. Not only do they have...
I want everyone at the Birmingham airport listening to this.
Everyone that he knows?
Listen, I'm going to be
really
100% honest here real quick. Your valet service sucks. Number one. I'm not going into that. Y'all know that. Y'all's parking situation is a wreck, top to bottom.
Especially if you drive a truck.
It gets
snug.
Awful. It is snug coming down that ramp.
It's the worst place to park. It's the worst place to park in America.
They built that thing for Yugos back in the day.
Yeah. We're in the South. Let's make sure we can accommodate a Prius.
But I am not on board with this. Clear is still great. I enjoy it. I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it is efficient. Just because Gregory has had some bad experience with it, I'm not on board with that. So everybody knows.
Okay.
I want to make that clear.
Well, pun. Yeah. Freaking ridiculous. I'll tell you this. The other thing that takes me off, everybody gets pre-check now. Everybody. Oh.
When have people
get pre-check? You get pre-check. You get pre-check.
When have you? All you got to do is sign up for it. You act like this is some VIP service. If you have you just go sign up, that's it.
If you have a speeding ticket,
all you have to do is not be a terrorist, and you can get on pre-check. That's just literally it.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, don't be on a terrorist watch list, and you're good.
You're fine.
And that's not asking for a whole lot. But in all reality, though, sometimes I look at the pre-check line.
It's way longer than the regular line.
It's 3 times longer than the regular line.
Yes.
But you don't have to take your shoes off and take your electronics out of your bag.
I don't care about that. That is not that inconvenient.
Then don't ever go through it. Go stand over there with the normals.
I go where the line is the shortest. Whatever gets me through the fastest. If it's the normal line, it's the normal line. It's the pre-check line, it's the pre-check line. If
Clear
both are
is
crazy,
taking you to the front of it no matter what, though.
Clear literally makes me want to punch the screen that I'm looking at.
I want you to try that next time.
They have all my biometrics. They have my fingerprints. They probably have blood, urine, all these other samples that they've probably taken at some point or another that I don't even know about. Clear is Big Brother, and yet it's gotten worse. And now I have to pull my ID out when I do Clear. That's the whole reason why I got Clear. Was to skip the pre-check line. The pre-check line is faster, and the pre-check line with where I go into the airport actually requires more walking. So for me to actually volunteer to do more walking than to have somebody ask to see my boarding pass 7 times, to me, goes to show you how bad Clear's gotten.
I don't think. I think you caught them on a day.
The nicest guy ever.
You caught them on a day like I was talking about, where the scanners weren't working, or they just decided they didn't want to do it, and so they made you. That's not every time.
And it's also awkward when you're like cutting in front of the pre-check people.
That is true. Yeah.
2 for Clear.
Yeah.
That is awkward.
Tough.
The guy in pre-check wants to beat me up. He wants to fight. And if he wants to fight,
let him try. I ain't scared of him.
I'm sure you're not.
And I'd like to see him try in an airport, by the way. Good luck with that.
Especially when Greg has home field advantage.
It's fair. I got people.
Everyone knows you. You should be good.
I got people on my side.
Security is on your side at the airport.
Always.
I'll tell you who else is on your side. Polar Bear Services.
Yep, Polar Bear Services is great. Wes and the guys do an amazing job. Always appreciate the service I receive. I've never been disappointed. Not one time. They've always gone above and beyond to delivering what my expectations were, getting problems fixed, and getting my heat and air ready for the summer months. So you know that unpredictable weather is coming. You know that your system could be running the heat during the night and cool during the day. And we know that 100-degree days are right around the corner. So get your system tuned up by the experts at Polar Bear Services. They are an independent trained dealer. They also handle your plumbing, and they can do home electrical needs, including the installation service of a home generator system, which can be super helpful during the storm season. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heat, or air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. It's 497-BEAR.
What do you guys put your thermostat on at night?
70.
My wife keeps going down lower. Like,
that's great.
She's down to 67 at night.
That's fantastic.
It's fine, but I woke up last night and I was like, it's not 67. And I walked out there and it was like 64. It's chilly.
That's dicey. I'll tell you this. And when we first had our firstborn baby, Vince, this is 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. I think we kept our AC at like 76 because Vince was cold. He had to be cold.
It's not real.
Oh yeah, it was a real thing. So anything under like 70, I'm good with.
Also notice that's firstborn. Firstborn. Yeah, we got to make sure everything.
After that, yeah. Oh, he's freezing. He looks freezing. Yeah, I know, because he's 8 pounds. I get it. Like, he does look cold. I don't disagree, but I'm sure he's fine. Like, babies were born in Antarctica. You know, like back in the day. Like, babies were born in Siberia last I checked. Like, it does happen.
Alaskans have kids.
What can we talk about in the next segment to keep you mad? Because you're on one today, and I like it. I want to get you madder than you are right now. What else is bothering you right now? Besides your half leg tights you're wearing today?
Don't get me started. These are for my knees. Why
are they down to your calves?
No, they're not.
Is there a TV show you're mad at? Is there a movie you're mad at? Is there a coach you're mad at? I want to keep you mad right now because this is fun radio. It's fun radio right now.
I'm not overly mad. Your obsession with Clear does make me mad. I will admit.
I'm not obsessed with it. It's just not worse than it has been. It's fair. It's a fair analogy. Oh, maybe you are mad about something that has ended, and we'll discuss that when we come back next on Mac and Cube in the morning. So an end of an era, technically, or should I say technologically, if you guys missed it day before yesterday, Skype is over. 7:41 a.m. Wednesday, May 7th, right here on Jocks 94.5. We haven't seen a lot of things in technology that made it, that were popular, that were relevant, that were useful, just die, just go away, or just like kind of push the end button. And apparently Skype is just over. It's done. I have no idea how Josh Pate's going to have guests on anymore. He's the only one I think that's had me on via Skype when I have joined his show.
Skype's dead.
It's dead.
Dead.
How do you?
I don't know why you were so amazed by this.
Because it like MySpace is kind of dead, but I think you can still go to it.
There's still something there.
Can you?
It's there.
Yeah.
I believe you can.
I'm about to go.
I think Timberlake
update my
owned it for
top
a while.
7.
Why would you not just hand it over to somebody else and say, this is your problem now, not pay for it or anything? I don't understand.
Because it probably costs way too. I mean, it's owned by Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't usually carry around dead weight. Skype is dead. There's a million things that have improved.
So Zoom killed it?
Zoom is way better than Skype.
What are the other options? And don't say Blue Jeans, because that's awful.
FaceTime.
Honestly,
you know it is, John.
No, it's all Skype's fault. Because Skype had been doing the same thing for quite some time. We all went home.
They hadn't upgraded. You're right.
And when everyone was still trying to talk to each other, instead of Skype being out there saying, hey, let's do this, Zoom just walked right in and took over everything.
How did that happen, though?
I don't know.
Like, what was it about Zoom? This is just my perception. I don't know what happened here. I feel like you're talking about, when we entered COVID, corporate America had to start being on that platform.
Yeah.
They needed that access to that.
Yep.
And Skype was for kids.
Maybe.
That's the way they viewed it. And they were like, we need something that's buttoned up. And here came Zoom. And they're like, that's the professional Skype.
We got
We're
it.
going to use that.
Mm.
Skype is for kids. And then Zoom took off. And so when corporate America grabs something, usually everything else is in trouble. That's the way I view it. I don't know if that's real or not. I don't know what happened.
They had the market cornered. And then they got kicked sixth.
Well, I feel like Skype was like used for international calling, and it was like a calling card, and like, there's a lot of benefits
we have
to
that.
Skype.
We have the
on.
text app now that all the
WhatsApp.
Yeah, all the terrorists use.
Yeah,
drug smugglers.
Telegram. There's so many.
Pigeon carrier.
There's so many options.
Mail horse, whatever the guy's called.
What?
The guy riding around the horse delivering mail. What was he called back in the day? Mail carrier?
Pony Express.
Pony Express. That's an SMU guy talking right there.
Mm. There you go.
So Zoom does have a subscription service, correct?
Yes. Skype did.
Skype never had that.
Which is why
they never even went to it. Never tried to go to it.
You chose to pay for Zoom.
So Skype literally tried to survive on the one or two ads you would see when you first went in to log in, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's trouble. Why wouldn't Zoom do a Vince McMahon and go in there and buy it and leave it there, and it's also still yours?
Well, because Microsoft has Teams now, so Microsoft, we don't need Skype. We can just let it go.
That's accurate. It literally does not serve any purpose anymore.
If you've ever been a guest on Josh Pate's show, it has.
I have been, but I don't
It was
recall.
Skype. It was definitely Skype, but they will not. I'm dead serious. I don't know what they're going to do anymore.
I think you can probably figure it out. There's about 100 options.
Are you texting him now?
I was actually are we going to break?
No. Well, yeah, we could.
Okay, go to break and we'll just call him and see if he'll answer on Skype.
Yeah.
Next.
Make it one last Skype.
Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Skype is gone. Did you use it? What is the oldest form of technology that most people see as irrelevant that you still use? This is an easy one for me. Gregory?
The oldest form of technology.
Maybe not form of technology, but like the oldest thing based around technology that most people view as kind of dead that you still use.
Well, I don't know if it's technology, but like this is standard like pad and paper. Like that's technology. I mean, ink, technology. Like ballpoint pens.
Caveman?
Ballpoint pens or ink, and that's technology.
A wheel?
Like, so I still take lots of notes, handwritten notes.
Yeah, I get it. So mine right here every day. That's not technology.
That is technology.
That's not what I'm talking about. Like mine's Hotmail. I still use my Hotmail account. What? A lot, by the way. A lot.
That's creepy.
Like it's my main email.
That's super creepy.
Because my iCloud, it deletes messages without me deleting them. They go away. I don't understand it. It infuriates me. The red emails that I need later are just gone.
Yeah.
And I can't find them. It drives me nuts. All right, Josh Pate joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline by surprise out of nowhere. What will your show do now that Skype is extinct? Because I don't know if you guys are going to be able to have guests anymore.
Better question. How will you ever get in touch with me again? I don't know that we had a phone conversation. You always insisted on FaceTime, to which I said, there is a feature called FaceTime. And you said, well, you didn't grow up on it, so I haven't done it that way before. I can't start doing it that way now. So evolve, adapt, or die, I guess, is the way we have to go about this.
Have you talked to producer Jesse about this? I'm sure he's got to be in panic mode right now. I say this because you're the only reason that I have used Skype in the last probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'm glad this is happening, honestly, because there are a lot of things about the internals and the software that any given company uses that makes no sense. And so a lot of times you can't talk action into happening. It just has to be forced into happening. And I guess this is how it gets forced.
Okay.
I don't really understand why Skype is going away if it's just so good. You and Cole are both freaking out. And I don't understand. I mean, if it's so good, why is it dying?
Look, I asked the same thing about the former layout of Chuck E. Cheese, Greg. So this is the kind of conversation that we could have about a number of different things across American society and culture. I just thought it was the most random headline to see. Don't you sunset these things? Don't you let people know it's going away a year from now? Instead, it was just right there in front of God and everyone on a Tuesday. Skype, gone. Bye.
There you go.
Out. Just
see
done.
Ya.
Drove off a cliff. By the way, why do we give Chuck E. Cheese all the credit when Showbiz is who deserves the credit? That was the original pizza place with the dancing animals and the bear and the band.
Never heard of it.
Because it was there before you were a thing.
No, when I was a very, very, very little thing when it was around. Here's what happened, honestly, and this is my truth, and you guys can speak your truth because we all have our truth. I had a birthday party at Showbiz. Okay,
we all did.
It became Chuck E. Cheese probably when I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, when I was really young, to the point where I thought I had just imagined that a place was called Showbiz. But you're telling me that really was the dancing mice and whatnot. That really was Showbiz.
Yes, it was Showbiz Pizza, right, John? That was first.
Absolutely, yeah. Still remember the one.
Did Chuck E. Cheese buy Showbiz, or did Showbiz go out of business and Chuck E. Cheese says, we got this?
Chuck E. Cheese is Zoom.
Showbiz
they
just did
Skype.
it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Showbiz thought they could stand on their morals
had everything
and keep having
sudden.
birthday parties with crummy pizza, and the band would not even be animatronic anymore.
Yep.
And they went out of business.
Someone usurped them.
There you go. Josh, what is the oldest form of technology that you still view as relevant that you use? Like my example is Hotmail. I still use Hotmail.
Yours is what now?
Hotmail. I have a Hotmail account. I use my Hotmail account a lot. It's my main source of email. I don't care if people laugh at that. I don't care. It's easy. It works. It goes straight to my calendar and everything.
If I was using a main email like Hotmail or AOL, if I happened to have been using it, I wouldn't have come off of it. My dad still uses AOL, which is the least shocking headline in the world, if you know my dad. I don't know. I would have had to aggregate this. I should have had these questions sent to me before. You know I don't like doing interviews where I don't know the questions ahead of time.
Yeah. We thought you were better than that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You've just exposed yourself to America.
Not.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I don't know. I still got. Let me think on that one. Ask me some more stuff. I got to look around the apartment. I'm sure I use some old stuff. I hate change.
Okay, I got another one for you, technologically based to an extent. Greg hates Clear. He thinks it's gotten worse. Do you like Clear? Do you use Clear at the airport? Because today is Star ID Day. You better be ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, you fly private now. I'm sorry, you don't need Star ID.
Don't do that. Don't do that publicly. I don't need that in my life. And by the way, yes, everyone, Real ID era is here, and I witnessed it in Austin Airport yesterday, and a lot of our citizenry is not ready, as it turns out. So,
what were they just warning people, and people were saying they didn't have it?
Oh no, it was, ma'am, do you have a Real ID? And they were handing them their ID, and they said, no, we need a Real ID. And one lady said, this is a Real ID. Look at it. They didn't even know what.
It's amazing.
It's a really, really poor name choice for the new form of the ID, by the way. I do the Clear. I do it every now and then. I just think sometimes the process itself gets in its own way. So I do agree. If there's a theory out there that Clear could be better, I do agree with that. I use it, but I normally travel later at night. So airports aren't really terrible for me most of the time when I travel.
Okay. Thanks for hopping on those last minute notice. How's wedding planning going?
Well, it's going good for me. You got some people who drag their feet and wait until the last minute to do things that have already been paid for them. And I assume everyone just knows what I'm talking about there. I don't want to name names. But other than that, other than deadbeat losers who can't get their stuff in on time, it's been really good. How's it going for you?
Not great. Trying to figure some things out.
Are you wedding planning?
No, I just don't know that's no. There's just you need reservations and tuxedo sizes, and it's just, I don't know what those things, I don't know how to do those things.
Well,
I have a Hotmail account. I don't know how to do them.
You could go up in tuxedo size, so maybe size up.
Yeah, it's just things people have done since the dawn of creation that certain people are having a tough time with. That's all.
That's a struggle. All right. Thanks for joining, Josh. We'll catch up again soon.
Anytime.
Back with more Mac and Cube next. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Glad you're with us. 8 o'clock, hour number 2 underway. Going to try to get back into some college football now. It's time to get serious here at 8 a.m. Before we go to Craig Stevenson from AL.com, who covers some college football, specifically talk with him about South Alabama, Troy, some of the players departing, maybe some of the players coming in, where those programs feel like they are right now. I'll tell you about our friends at Train. The weather this time of year, unpredictable. That's why you need the reliability of A-Train, voted America's most trusted HVAC brand. Right now, you can receive up to a 10-year warranty on parts and labor on select Train home comfort systems. Find out more at Train.com. It is hard to stop a train. All right, Craig Stevenson with us now of AL.com. And Craig, South Alabama feels like they have been gutted. And we know the coaching change a little over a year ago is going to make some things a little bit difficult, but where do you feel like, from a roster perspective, that staff is on this team moving forward?
Yeah, it seems like at the G5 level, this happens to everyone eventually, and I guess it was their turn. But, the team they thought they were going to have in January is nothing like the team they have now. I think since the bowl game, they have lost 11 returning or projected starters since spring practice. I think it's 6. Including their 3 most experienced cornerbacks, their starting quarterback, starting right tackle, starting outside linebacker. So, it's rough. There's no question about it. I think that, there was a lot of optimism after 3 consecutive winning seasons for the first time in program history. 2 straight bowl wins, the first 2 bowl wins in program history. We're talking about a program that's only been around since 2009. But man, you got to temper that a little bit now. I think the expectations are not quite what we thought they were a couple of months ago.
Why is it that they've been kind of targeted as much as they have? I mean, they've been good. Let's not get it twisted, but it's not like they're the UCF of 7 years ago where they're ripping off undefeated seasons right and left. Why is it that they've become such a focal point?
It's a good question. I think that one, Kay Momick and his staff, of course, Major Applewhite was part of that staff, a big part of that staff, did a good job of recruiting. They recruited some up-and-comer, diamond-in-the-rough type guys like Gio Lopez, who didn't have any SEC offers, and now he's at North Carolina, like Malachi Carney, who didn't have any SEC offers, and now he's at Georgia Tech. They got some guys through the portal that just needed a chance to play, and once they started playing and got on film, you had teams swooping in, but obviously it's all about money. I mean, South Alabama does not have a ton of money as a football program. Again, they've only been around since 2009. The moneyed alumni that they have went to South Alabama at a time when they didn't have football. So a lot of those people are Alabama and Auburn fans, and they send their money there. The big money people in Mobile, Elliot Mazel and Angus Cooper, they're giving all their money to Alabama. They're not giving it to South Alabama. So once you start getting into NIL deals that go over about $25,000 or $50,000, they just can't compete. I mean, Gio Lopez got 2 years and $4 million from North Carolina. That's more than South Alabama's entire NIL. Yeah, that's what as I understand it, and that's more than South Alabama's entire athletic NIL budget. They get a little TV money, obviously. As part of the Sun Belt and an ESPN deal, a couple of $1 million, but your Big Ten and SEC schools are getting $50 million. They just can't compete with that. They can't. I mean, they just got to. What they hope happens is a guy realizes that if I stay here and I start, maybe I'll get a shot at the NFL. But a lot of guys are like, look, I'm not going to the NFL, so I might as well go get paid. And that's what guys did. They've had a couple of guys leave here, go on to SEC and ACC and Big 12 schools and be role players, but they're getting paid a couple $100,000. I mean, that's not going to happen here.
I mean, you think about what Duke did for Darren Mensah and those numbers you just threw out, and people say the ACC schools don't have money right now, but it appears as though they do when they're going to find players. You also mentioned Alabama. Jaden Hobson, a tackle that is going to leave South Alabama and head to the Capstone, 6'5", 295. Is this a guy that you feel like that staff was confident was going to be a real player, can maybe go contribute? Is he just going to be a body at Alabama? Can he start? What's the thought process there?
It was an interesting situation because he was at Mississippi State. He's a Tuscaloosa guy, I think Hillcrest High School. He came here last fall, so he signed over the summer, was here during summer workouts, and started fall camp. but then all of a sudden just quit the team. And the idea was like he didn't want to play football anymore. I think he had an uncle that had a construction company, maybe something like that, and so he was going to work for his uncle and make money. Then all of a sudden Alabama swoops in. I think he's probably more of a role player, at that level. I didn't get to see a lot of him, to be honest with you. But if he was good enough to be recruited by Mississippi State, he probably at least can contribute as maybe be on the field goal team or something like that. But I as far as it's funny. You look in the portal and it says he left South Alabama to go to Alabama, but he was never really here in a sense. I mean, never played in a game or anything like that. So he's been out of sight, out of mind here for a long time. Let's
stay with Mississippi State. Craig Stevenson of AL.com joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. I've watched the tape of Fluff Bothwell, watched a couple of his games live. I love the kid. I think he can be dynamic. There are portions of his game that may not translate to super high-end running backs in the SEC, but he's definitely going to help that team. What was the thought process when he left? What did that coaching staff think about him as a player?
Oh yeah. He was one of those guys when they signed him. It's like, boy, I hope I hope we can keep him. It really was, and they were really trying to downplay expectations. But you could tell from the first scrimmage that he was the best player on the field as a true freshman. Just lighting up, returning starter, safeties and linebackers in scrimmages and. I think part of the reason they got him was that he had an injury his senior year, did not participate in the summer camp circuit. He also had a connection to South Alabama that his uncle or cousin, I believe, Anthony Mostella, had played here. He died in a motorcycle accident about 15 years ago, and they do the number 5 jersey because of Anthony Mostella. So that gave him a little bit of a connection here. But yeah, with Gio Lopez to a certain extent as well. It's like we just hope we can keep this guy. We're going to keep him as long as we can and get it. We're definitely not going to redshirt him because he's not going to be here in year 2 probably.
Well, the Gio Lopez guy's the guy I was wanting to ask you about, and I think it's obviously been a highly publicized recruitment, moving from South to North Carolina. Now he's in line to potentially be the starting quarterback. I mean, what is North Carolina getting for those that haven't seen him?
He's really tough. He's a left-handed guy, not very tall. I was shade over 6 feet tall, but about 220. Really powerful runner. Can throw the ball well enough. Not a ton of touch on the deep ball, but does have a strong arm. But the issue with him here was, he played hurt most of the year. He got a turf toe in the first game of the year and tried to play through it all year. Actually had to miss a game or two. But yeah, he's tough. Is he a guy that's going to be, one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the ACC? It's hard to say, but he can play. There's no question about it.
Let's head over to Troy, another team that feels like they have just been decimated by the transfer portal with tight ends, running backs, quarterbacks, offensive linemen. How is this roster shaping up heading into this season compared to maybe what it was a year ago?
Yeah, it's tough. They lost virtually everyone. I mean virtually everyone that had returning eligibility. I think they had 2 returning starters last season, and then even some depth guys left as well. Some of those followed John Summerall to Tulane, but some guys went elsewhere. They lost a couple of big names in the portal this past season. Most notably, they're all Sun Belt receiver. I'm drawing a blank real quick. Devontae Ross, who went to Penn State, one of the best players in the Sun Belt. They've tried to backfill a little bit. They did, and they've had to take a chance on a couple of guys. They signed Ra Thomas, who, I know you guys are familiar with in the SEC, that had all kind of really ugly off the field issues, but has a support network in the Troy area. His high school coach is actually the husband of Troy's women's basketball coach. So they're hoping that he can stay on the straight and narrow. And at that level, you've really got to take some chances. I think they do get their quarterback back this year, Goose Crowder, who had a concussion issue last year, missed about half the season. They did lose Matthew Caldwell, who has gone to be a depth guy, I guess, at Texas. But
can you take us further into that? Can you take us further in that situation? Because we were told by Joe Cook that Caldwell took no money to go to Texas, which would tell me that he felt like he had no shot of starting, which if you played 4 or 5 games, you thought you would at least be able to compete for it.
Yeah, I think Crowder was their guy. And he had a connection with the staff from West Virginia, so I think that's part of it. And as long as he was healthy, he was going to be the guy. There was a time last year, though, they weren't 100% sure he was going to be able to come back at all. They basically just shut him down about midway through the season. Caldwell, I thought, played well, though. He really, to the extent that they salvaged their season, he was a big part of that when, they won 3 of their last 5. But yeah, he went to Texas because as a 5th-year guy, I guess, and he's bounced around a little bit. Was at Jacksonville State as well previously, and I guess, I don't know. I think some guys too also. Like, look, I can stay here and get my brains beat out and go 3-9, or I can go to Texas and maybe get a national championship ring out of this deal. I know that's probably part of the decision-making process as well.
From a Troy perspective, when you look at another player who's going to be heading up to Alabama, there's a couple of SEC guys that are going to be coming out of there, but Brody Dalton, the tight end, 6'5", 250.
Yeah.
Serviceable, helpful, playmaker. What do you think his game will translate like in the SEC?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's probably serviceable is probably the right word for him. And again, it's hard to say because they had so many quarterback problems, and just they started 3 different guys throughout the year, and Crowder was not healthy, but probably for the first game and a half. So yeah, I think he's a guy that can get in the right system and be good. Of course, they've been Alabama the last couple of years at tight end is really. They just kind of had a volume of guys, no real star. I don't think he's a guy that's going to go to the SEC and be a star, but certainly can contribute.
Craig, we appreciate the time, man, giving us some insight into some of these players from South Alabama, Troy heading other places, and then what their roster is going to look like as well. Look forward to having you back soon. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, Craig Stevenson from AL.com talking about a couple of different players from South Alabama, not just the school, but in general, Troy and USA. I don't know, Gio Lopez, Greg, the height seems like it could potentially be a little bit of a problem. I think he's got the arm to be able to play, obviously good mobility. And I mean, North Carolina has had, since Drake May, a little bit of a revolving door at quarterback. He's going to have the opportunity to be the guy. Just don't know if his game is going to translate there to the ACC. But you give him that kind of money, you would imagine he's got to be the guy.
I can't imagine a scenario where he isn't. I mean, look at their roster. I mean, unless they go true freshman, which they might. But knowing Bill Belichick, I can't imagine a scenario in which he has the patience to nurture a true freshman throughout his first year as a college coach. I think you want that bridge guy, and ultimately you'll give it to that true freshman. But does Bill Belichick seem like the type of guy that would have the patience to bring a guy along like that?
No.
He's going veteran.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I would too. If in doubt, veteran. Always.
All right, so some portal updates there, and interesting just to kind of hear a little bit else of what's going on. Tell our listeners about Bromberg's.
Bromberg's been great, and right now is such a great time to go in and take advantage of the biggest sale of the year. It's the Bromberg's Big Diamond Sale, May 5th through 10th. So if you haven't been in yet, go in and you'll see some incredible deals on some incredible jewelry. 50% off in some cases, off loose diamonds, on diamond jewelry, you name it. This is the most trusted jeweler here in the Southeast for nearly 200 years. It's one of the nation's largest and oldest retailers. So go and make sure that you check it out in Mountain Brook Village and at the Summit. It doesn't really matter what the circumstances are. If it's Mother's Day and you want to spoil mom, that's great. If you want to just add to your collection, that's phenomenal. If you're ready to pop the question, you can do that as well by going in and taking a look at these timeless engagement rings, studs, bracelets, pendants. You'll find so many at unbeatable prices. So hurry in. These savings will not last forever. It's Bromberg's Big Diamond Sale, May 5th through 10th at Mountain Brook Village and at the Summit.
All right, when we come back, we mentioned a little bit of technology earlier, which brings up brand recognition. And I have a question for the group when it comes to brands and brand loyalty, because some just go away and you don't have the choice. Are there brands that you stay loyal to no matter what in any walk of life? 800-239-9569. We'll discuss it next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, Wednesday, May 7th, 8:18, Jocks 94.5. Tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jock skill. Every time I go home, because my wife does it for Alexa every day, it just does it by itself now, I believe. I got 3-man front on in the house when I get home because she cranks up Alexa and then it just goes on Jocks all day. Watch us live on YouTube every morning. Search Jocks945. Listen online, JocksFM.com. The Jocks app is there. You can get the podcast there. You can click to watch it on YouTube there, and you can also listen to the show live. So a lot of resources to listen to us all day on Jocks with the Jocks app.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion. You'll see when you go up and take a look, walk around the lot, you'll see the inventory that's unmatched. You'll see the used car super center where they have a car for every budget. And the reason why they can offer deals is because they just get so many things going and their overhead is less, so they can pass that savings on to you. That's why you can go and get a GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Absolutely beautiful, top-of-the-line truck. You pay nearly $87,000 here locally. But you can take the short drive up to Coleman, and you could take $15,000 off the sticker price, which means you're getting it for less than $72,000 at $71,805. It's deals like that keep people come back. That's why 75% of their business is repeat customers. That's because you have a better experience when you shop at Bill Smith's. Take the short drive up to Coleman. You'll be glad you did. You can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
All right, so John Saber brought this up in our group text, and it got me thinking about Skype, where we did have someone tweet into the show that Microsoft Teams is the way to go now.
Yeah. Teams is basically what
is that Blue Jeans though?
It's Microsoft's version of it, more or less.
Who runs Blue Jeans? What company?
Delta, I guess. I don't know.
No, Delta's better than that.
Oh,
and Delta has their problems, but Blue Jeans people should be fired.
No. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's their own, but I think Teams realized, Blue Jeans is FAFO, so let's find something but make it slightly better.
I feel like this is an interesting question though when you talk about brand loyalty, because like talking to Josh about Skype, with either he or his producer Jesse, they've just stayed there because that's what it's always been. Hotmail for me, it just works because it's easier. I honestly think the main reason I use it is because it's just logged into everything. Right. And sometimes, and like the iCloud account wants to do the passcode and like, is this really you logging in all the time? I appreciate y'all helping me out, making sure nobody's getting into my iCloud. But like, I just don't need to log into every device every single time I try to go check my email. So it becomes secondary. And then I have a Cumulus email that I can't get into anymore, an ESPN email that I've never been able to get into, probably 7 other email accounts that I don't even know are still there. So I just stick with the Hotmail, man. It's been there forever. It's been there forever, and it's never let me down.
I just don't know.
Well, a couple times it has.
You shouldn't admit that.
I don't care. I am loyal to that brand. Not so much Microsoft, but just the Hotmail aspect of it. And I think this question is interesting of brand loyalty, because over time, I believe most people would think that you become more loyal to certain brands because you've been with them longer and you're just not going to go away. But then I also begin to think that as I get older, I kind of just don't care. And I either want what's easiest, what's best, what's most reliable, or least expensive. Or what my kids want, probably, or what my wife wants is probably what's going to take over anyway. So when John asked this question, I kind of struggled to think, like, what brands am I super loyal to? Because like there are shoes that I wear now that I wouldn't have worn 5 years ago.
No, you don't say.
Yes.
You're saying your taste changes as you get older?
Well, no, like I swore off On Clouds forever, or On 3 Clouds, whatever they're called. I was like, I'll never wear that.
Another brand that you're deadly loyal to is On 3.
That is false.
On Clouds, On 3.
On 3. That's on brand.
Yep. It's true.
And you are on one today, as we have stated.
YOLO.
But Track Shack and Homewood hooked me up with a couple, and I'm like, you know what? We'll go with it. Now, and John can attest to it. When they squeak when I walk down the hallway, I got to throw them away. I can't make it stop. I can't make them stop squeaking. I don't know what the deal is. Like, do I need WD-40 for my shoes now? I'm not doing it. Also, don't need to be like every other frat boy in America wearing On 3s or On Clouds, whatever they are. They're comfortable.
Don't worry, they'll be the New Balance loafer things.
I never thought I would own a pair of Brooks in my life, ever. But I will tell you this: they're the most comfortable pair of shoes I've ever worn. Not even close.
What about Hoka's?
Hoka's are solid, but Brooks are better. Brooks are more comfortable.
I don't know.
Now I'm probably most loyal to the brands that pay me.
There we go.
You don't say.
So, but yeah.
Wow, shocker.
What is his favorite line, Damien?
Cheddar makes it better.
Yeah, but he's gonna make fun of that. but all he talks about is making money.
It's not true.
Lifer is king. Cheddar makes it better. That's all it is.
I'm just trying to teach Damien important lessons.
Have you seen the stock market today? Like every day.
I like
but
the
then
stock.
when you bring up something that has to do with making money, he's like, this guy's terrible.
Well, when did I'm not outwardly saying, you know what? The only people I like are the people that pay me.
I need.
That's what you just said.
I like my kids. They don't pay me. They take a lot of money from me, actually.
You like your kids. You don't love your kids. That's what you're
adore
trying to say.
my children. Today I like them. Tomorrow I
love the brands that pay me. I like my kids.
That's what last night, man. I don't know if I love them right now.
You can get it on the ground level.
I need some examples here. Like what came to mind for you guys when John asked about what brands are you loyal to? Like I will say right now with all the subscription service, different things happening. Like I feel like YouTube TV, I'm loyal to that right now.
Okay.
Like I'm not going back to DirecTV. Well, you don't know what's coming.
You were so excited to dump it as soon as they didn't have games last year. Like you were ready. You were 100% exploring other options. Oh, they don't have ESPN. They have to get their rights package figured out. I'm looking around.
I think you were listening to Landrum talking about Braves games. Like right. This is not a real thing that's happening on this show.
Valley Sports.
Yeah, that's not. No, I've never thought about that. And I was loyal to DirecTV for a long time when they had Sunday Ticket, and then when that went away, I don't need to deal with this anymore. It's raining, and I got a screen that doesn't work. No, we're done.
No, that's why you guys DirecTV stream now.
Exactly. Whatever. You're loyal to that.
Yes,
for now.
DirecTV.
What other products, companies, brands are you loyal to?
I mean, it's simple, but I'm only eating Heinz ketchup. All the other ones are gross.
I don't even know who else makes ketchup.
Hunt's.
Oh, Hunt's is awful.
You can have it.
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really use ketchup, but I feel you.
Here we go again.
But on the flip side of that, like to me,
condiments.
But to me, like mustard's mustard. Regular yellow mustard.
I don't eat mustard enough to know the difference.
Yeah, like French's.
I'm not a big mustard
Great
guy.
Value.
See, like I'll go anywhere for mustards.
Yeah.
Like I'll even go like famous sauce. Like,
How often do you use it though?
Pretty regularly. If I'm having a hot dog, I'm having mustard.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I have a hot dog at least once a week.
I'm kind of jealous of that.
Hot dogs rip. Hot dogs are the best.
There was a place, actually it was like the Coney Island hot dog thing.
Yeah.
That was across the street from my hotel, and I didn't see it until I was leaving because it was like the other way. And I was like, damn, I would have gone there for a hot dog for lunch yesterday if I'd have known that was there. I didn't see it in time.
Still $1.50 at Costco.
Yeah. I need to hit Costco just for that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? I like that though.
That's a good one.
But I also don't think that there's a ton of variety.
I'm very loyal to Boar's Head when it comes to like deli meats. Like I'm very loyal. Like I usually don't.
My wife's not getting another. She's not getting another brand of turkey. Like she's just not.
Boar's Head.
You can offer it up and say, "Well, they have this." She's like, "No, just forget it. We'll get it next time."
Yeah.
Very loyal. 100%. I would say that I'm extremely loyal. Well, I was extremely loyal to a specific light beer, but that has since changed, so that no longer works.
But you're open to endorsement. Is that what you're saying?
No, because what I would drink publicly might be different from what I drink privately. I don't necessarily have to, there are certain beers that I like more than others. I would say I'm pretty loyal to Crest toothpaste. That ain't changing. I've had that.
I don't have to have a certain
30 years.
It can go whatever's on the shelf. I just get it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Crest is
Give
where
me the
it's
whitening
at.
that never really works, and we'll just go with that.
Okay, that's fair.
Give me somebody that their toothpaste made their teeth whiter. It's not real. It is fake marketing that does not work, and we all buy it. Every single one of us. No one has said, since I started using this toothpaste, look how white my teeth are. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Now, the other stuff works. Yes, the strips and the lasers and all that. Yeah. But there's nobody that said, I have been using this toothpaste for 5 years, and my teeth are gleaming.
That's a ruse.
I'm remarkably loyal to Apple.
I'm with you there.
Like I'm not changing.
But you don't even use AirPods. So you lie.
Because AirPods stink. I'm also remarkably loyal to Bose. Like I'm gonna go
You're
with
a LeBron guy.
I'm gonna go with Beats are the worst. They are seriously the worst.
Beats
headphones.
are bad.
They
I know it's
stink.
technically an Apple company now, but
they are awful.
I tried so long to make those things go, and
no,
the amount of pairs that broke.
They're terrible.
Junk.
But I do like Bose. So basically, like if you are audio, sound, Bose to me, like that's the best. It has been my whole life, but I'm remarkably loyal to Apple. I'm never buying a Galaxy, you stupid thing.
I literally just got a text from a buddy of mine right now, Android for life. And I'm like, you are the only one.
Yeah.
I do not know another.
Yep. I'm very loyal to, I used to be loyal to car brands. But to be honest with you, I've kind of changed my tune. I really like my GMC. I really, really do. And have bought another one since as a result. And regardless of the endorsements, whether it's Cole's or mine, I think I would buy another GMC because I've really enjoyed it. I don't think I'm ever not going to own a GMC truck. I really don't think I'm ever not going to.
Yeah, I got to be really careful with that one. I don't know if I could steer away from just General Motors in general.
Yeah.
And that's not a pun, but I in my personal life have had vehicles from the other companies, and the General Motors vehicles to me are always better.
I've had Toyota, I've had Lexus, I've had Tesla, I've had Range Rover. Like I've had a bunch of different options, and I have most enjoyed, I think, my Sierra. I haven't been in a truck. I've had Ford.
Even the Buicks that Royal has put me in, I'm like, I've tried to convince my wife to get one because they're so nice.
Love it.
She won't do it.
There's tiny.
This is kind of a sidebar.
You fit well in that one that you had.
The big one is awesome.
Okay, but what about the one that you were driving?
I don't know. That
was the size of your iPad.
This is a sidebar. Have I shared Greg and I's Tesla story with you guys before?
No.
So Greg and I had it was the FCS kickoff game. It was in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
And Zarza did the play-by-play. Greg did color, and they put me on the sideline. And so Greg's like, this is a night game. We're going to go in day of. We'll drive. And then we'll drive back after the game. It'll be no big deal. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Craig had a Tesla at the time. So we go, we do the game. We're coming back. I mean, it was like a 6:30 game. So it's probably, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Yeah. We're driving back. We're probably just past Montgomery, maybe Prattville-ish. And Greg's like, oh. He's like, show me all the technology. He let it drive itself or whatever. And he goes, oh, man, we are low. I was like, low on what? He's like, we need a charge. He goes, we could probably make it. And I kind of look over. I didn't know the gauges or anything, but like it was not a lot of battery at all. Very little. He goes, we're fine. I said, okay. So we go like another 30 minutes and he goes, I got to turn the air conditioner off. And I was like, for what? What are you talking about? He goes, we need to save some battery here. And I was like, wait a second. Is it that close? He goes, we're going to be kind of close. We're like 40 minutes outside of Birmingham. Uh-oh. He goes, seriously, I got to start shutting some things off. And he's like, air conditioner off, radio off, like the whole thing. He goes, this is actually going to be really close. I'm sitting there thinking, what happens if we don't make it? He goes, out of there. And he like pulls up the little map or whatever. He goes, there's not a charging station anywhere close to here. He goes, we'll have to call somebody. I was like, do you think we're going to make it? He goes, it's going to be close. It depends how many times we have to go uphill. I was just like, what? We ended up making it, but it was just great that an hour out, he's like, we're fine. 35 minutes out, we need to shut down everything in the vehicle. We might not make it. And we did end up making it.
We made it.
But that was a brand that you did not stay loyal to.
No, I did not and won't. I'm never going back until they get to 500 miles without any problems.
That's your barrier?
That's it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like mine was, granted, I was early adopter Tesla. Like I ordered my Tesla in 2016 and I got the SUV. Like I was really early. And I think it was rated to go 270 miles. I might have been able to get 200 out of it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was like absurd. It's like, this is ridiculous.
So the commonality is you get in on stuff early and they disappoint you, kind of like Clear.
There you go. I'm an early adopter. I'm like the consummate consumer. Like if something's cool and like trendy, I'm in. But I will jump off that bandwagon so quick. And when the masses get in, I'm out.
Yeah, it's fair.
Done.
What came to your mind, Damien, when we were talking about brands you're loyal to?
Early on, I don't have one now, but PlayStation over Xbox. That was a huge.
When that was
PlayStation.
When that was a real thing, I was definitely team PlayStation.
Yeah, 1000%.
Like not even close.
And Crest toothpaste.
See, is that just taste? It's got to be.
Maybe, yeah.
Taste.
It don't matter.
What do you do? Are you more like Looney Tunes or are you like Fraggle Rock, Crest. Which ones do you use?
Please, you know it's Power
Super
Rangers.
Spider-Man?
Who are we kidding?
No.
Power Rangers toothpaste, you know.
No, advanced whitening. You got the scope.
I will say
Baking
one
soda
of the
peroxide.
biggest points of contention in my home. My two boys have the Jack and Jill bathroom, so they each have their own sink.
Yeah.
They don't use the same toothpaste. And I'm just going to tell you, you mix that up, it is
It's
a
game
problem.
over.
Yeah,
It is a problem. Thankfully, now we're to two different like canisters.
Yeah.
The look is totally different, but that we have multiple shades of blue in the house, and my 5-year-old wants the one kind. And it's like he can, if it's Crest Sparkle or like Crest something else, he knows the difference. He can look at it and tell you, he goes, that's not my toothpaste. I was like, yes, it is. It's on your brush. He goes, that's not the toothpaste I use.
Wow.
Tonight it is.
See, I don't mind Crest
It
toothpaste.
ruins his day. He goes, that's not my tooth. I'm not doing it. I was like, what's the difference? That one has Spider-Man on it. I was like, no. But he has to have the one with Spider-Man on it.
But their mouthwash stinks. It's
I don't do
Listerine-based.
mouthwash.
Yeah.
Mouthwash
Yeah,
is a con on the American
Wow.
people.
No, Listerine, man.
Con.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Listerine all the way.
It
And
really
Crest-
does. It kills all the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Like you don't want that.
Oh, God.
Stay away from
But
mouthwash.
does it help your breath smell better?
That's what gum's for. It ain't hard.
That I do feel like that is another brand that people stay deathly loyal to, is a certain type
Kinda,
of gum.
yeah.
I'll tell not to get too deep in the weeds, but I think tobacco products, people are pretty loyal to those.
Yeah, which ones are you on right now?
Haven't decided yet. Take it day by day. But in the day,
It's a choice.
I'll be caught dead before I had anything other than Skull Mint.
Today is Red Man, damn it.
I will quit before I have anything other than Skull Mint back in the day.
Now tomorrow, it's a difference.
Yeah. Now, if you now as a non-consumer, hey, you got some Golden Blend? Sure, I'll take a plug of that. Oh, you got Skull? Pff, give me some of that. Oh, you got Cope? Ride.
Is you just giving up
You
on
got
Zen?
Zins?
You're out on Zen?
I had a guy show me 24 milligram Zins the other day.
Nobody knows what that means.
If you Zin, you know.
Yeah.
Put it this way:
Almost said
when I
something
have
really
Zinned in the
bad right
past,
there.
it's 3 milligram. These are 24.
All right, so normal people have been walking around with 3 milligrams of nicotine in their fake tobacco Zen?
Yeah, they're not tobacco. It's
Synthetic Zen?
purely
synthetic
nicotine.
tobacco.
Synthetic.
It's
Okay, so and then now, so that's basically like the craft beer essentially when you're getting like 24% or
Pretty
whatever.
much,
and
yeah.
You've been
Yeah.
having like 6. Okay. Did you try it?
No, the 6s make my head spin.
Man, I started off.
Imagine what the 24s do.
Oh,
Can you, when you
You
do
mean
try
the
that,
I'm
can-
floating.
when you do try that, can we be live on air?
No.
We won't tell anybody, but
No, that feels like
I'd
a
like to
lantern.
see the-
that feels like a lantern prop bet.
He be shaking.
he's on 64.
He be
Yeah.
shaking.
I'm out.
24?
You can have it. 24 banger.
That's extreme.
That's not Zen. That's Blue Chew.
That's a
That's how intense
Wow.
that
Easy.
sounds.
They're not a sponsor on our show because we're a family
No,
program.
they kind of are. They kind of are.
No.
Ask your boy.
No.
I hear his name.
Out.
Okay, John, after ketchup, what was next for you? What else comes to mind?
In terms of full, like,
I feel like I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like, and maybe this is more,
He literally asked him a question, and
I know,
then
but he didn't have an
all
answer.
said
He didn't have an
stuff.
I feel like stores are brands that people are extremely loyal to.
Kinda, yeah,
Grocery,
My
big
wife's
box, like-
level of loyalty to Target is absurd. Actually, you know what? I take this back. My wife's level of loyalty to all things delivery now is absurd.
That's kind of it now. Yeah.
Like DoorDash, I'm a DoorDasher.
I'll be honest with you, Greg. I am. I hope she's not listening right now. My wife kind of hadn't gotten on that, and I'm really glad she has.
Get ready.
Because she hasn't been to a grocery store in about 7 years.
Wait, DoorDash?
She actually has. No, but like our groceries, the grocery delivery thing, I'm like, it's right there. I could walk.
Dude, we used to actually get in actual arguments about this. Like my mom went to the grocery store twice a week my whole life. And she had multiple kids, worked, all this stuff, and found a time to do it.
But that's one thing that's very.
So we used to get in like arguments about this.
But that's one thing that's that's generational. Not going to the grocery store. So I bagged groceries at Food World when I was a kid. That was my first job out of high school.
Yeah.
And I worked every Sunday. And I can tell you the moms in Homewood that came every single Sunday.
Yep.
And it was 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I knew them because I knew their kids. every single Sunday. They came in the grocery store.
Yep.
That whole like Wednesday, Sunday, go to the grocery store thing, that's not a real thing anymore.
No, it's not.
And it used to be like what you're saying, your mom, like that. It was 2 days a week, probably these 2 days at this time.
Correct.
They went and got everything they needed. It's not like that anymore.
No.
Wednesdays when the flyer came out, so that's when the sale started.
Yep.
Sunday was because the weekend and you're getting ready for the
Sunday
beginning of the
paper
week.
coupons had the whole.
We used to go we used to go midday Sunday to Costco and like get the week's worth of like snacks. But Costco was like 5 minutes away from our house. Like it was so easy.
Yeah.
Costco.
God, now it's like 12.
22. It's like 22 minutes.
It is a whole.
Man.
And everyone else goes at Sunday, so
This is a
Correct, so
whole
you can't
different
go Sunday.
conversation.
No, you gotta
of
go
how
after-
bubbled up we all are. I make fun of us all the time.
But I think that like I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it's like we really miss the human interaction of going. I think it's important whether it's strangers or if it's other adults or just seeing other kids. Like I think it's bad for society for us to not have any face-to-face interaction anymore. So checking out at the grocery store with a live person checking you out, I think is healthy for your mental health. I really believe that. Now, it might be crazy, and there's science that supports that that's true, and there's science that supports that's healthy. So like using ATMs as opposed to going to actual tellers, ordering groceries as opposed to going to the grocery store. Like those are bad for your mental health, but I cannot deny the level of efficiency. Like we don't have enough hours. When was the last time you sat there and you thought, you know what? I really didn't need this many hours in the day to day.
But I do also think, and this is unfortunate, it's more economically sound because we think it's not because of the fees and whatnot. But like, why do I like to go to the store? Because I see random junk that I'm going to want, and I get it.
That's true.
Like I'm never going to get Oreos from a delivery grocery service. But by God, if I'm in there and walk past them, I'm probably putting some in the cart.
What flavor?
Most stuff.
Ultimate stuff, whatever the biggest stuff is.
I do really enjoy the mint. And every now and then I want to go golden.
Attaboy.
But it's got to be
You gotta keep the body
It's got to be
guessing.
double stuff.
You got to keep the body
Every
guessing.
now and then. And then sometimes you get the thins with the most stuff and you put the most stuff in the thin cookies. And that's the best that you could ever get. And why they haven't done that, I offered up that idea to them via video years ago.
You did.
And they still haven't gotten with the times.
Did.
So you said
You
the
would
most
sell
stuff
out of it.
with
the thin cookies. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best they could ever have.
Yeah, but those cookies are not strong enough to handle the
Yes, they are. I've done it. John has seen me do it on a video. I made the video.
It was fun.
It exists.
Yeah.
I still do it.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Gosh, this is a good conversation, though.
All right,
Loyal brands.
Let's finish it on the other side. There's more. 800-239-9569. You want to get in? We'll continue talking next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We're talking brand loyalty. Hopefully, Jocks is one that you guys are loyal to. JocksFM.com. Watch on YouTube every day. Search Jocks 94.5. Follow all of the Jocks social accounts. We went stores, grocery stores. I also feel like one that's popped up recently is athleisure gear, because now there are multiple companies out there. It's not just one or two anymore. And certain people are, if you are Roback or if you are Lululemon or you are Athleta, or there's one that's out there that mostly females are wearing now that I can see the logo, but I don't know what it's called.
Viore?
No, Viore is one that I think some people are, though. It looks like two circles, something. I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, it's out there.
Literally no idea.
No, I know that. This is a newer one. I don't know the name of it, though. But I feel like that's one that people have gotten extremely loyal to.
I am unfamiliar with that one.
Tell me if you guys have ever heard this. Next time you have Oreos, put a little bit of water on the Oreo and put it in the microwave for like 15 seconds.
What? It's like steamy Oreo?
Aloe. Yeah, my buddy sent it in. ALO. That's it. That's the one. The athletic gear.
Don't know that one.
I cannot say what you just sent, Garrett, on the backside of that. But yeah, you're probably right. Water on Oreos and then in the microwave?
I can see it being like a steam.
Why don't you just get the cake stir and be done?
Great point.
Yeah.
And I don't need that.
Yeah.
I need the little bit of crunch.
Yeah.
I don't need mush Oreo.
No, you don't want mush Oreo.
Because even if I'm using milk, which is on occasion, it's only half of it.
There are some cookies that need to be crunchy, some need to be soft. Oreo needs to be crunchy.
Oatmeal raisin should never be crunchy.
Correct.
Ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Sky Club at JFK had some killer some killer oatmeal raisin cookies last weekend. I may have had 8.
Well, you were there for what?
13 hours.
Yeah.
Well, actually, 8 hours at one and like 5 hours at the other.
Oh, goodness.
Both airports combined. Yeah. It was a long day. Gusty Goulas Group, though, wants to make sure that you stay loyal to him. Why? Well, he's only served 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. That's loyalty, not only to Central Alabama, but to all those customers brokered by eXp Realty. Over 850 5-star Google reviews when you search Gusty Goulas Group, 205-542-1996. He knows what homes are coming available. He knows what your home is worth. Matter of fact, go to GustyGoulasGroup.com right now. Button at the top of the page. Smash that. Little information. They're going to tell you what they think your home is worth right this second. 205-542-1996 or go to GustyGoulasGroup.com today and start packing. More brand recognition and loyalty next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Brand loyalty, part of the conversation today. One that you should stay loyal to if you need a new floor, Shinar Flooring.
That's because Shinar Flooring is going to always put your home first. They're going to make sure that they're respectful of your home. Fu and his team are going to come in. They're going to protect your home. They're going to protect your floors. And they're going to do an amazing job. They have 40,000 square feet of Core-Tech flooring by Shaw in stock right now, which is pretty amazing. Now you have that 100% waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof flooring that is right here in your own backyard, ready to be installed at a moment's notice. You can get 12 months financing with approved credit and know that this flooring will actually improve the value of your home or business. 12 months financing, like I said, with approved credit. So if you're thinking about making some changes to your floors, call who? Call Fu. Call them at 205-518-6423 or go online at fuandyou.com.
Okay, so I interrupted you last time, John, but was there another brand or two that you were thinking about that you were close to that it was coming to mind?
It's not necessarily a brand, but it's one thing that I try to stay with my entire life. It's a barber.
I'm with you there.
I've consistently, I assume you still use the same
It's
one
me.
for quite some time.
I do stay loyal to certain clippers, though.
Oh yeah. I've had Gillette, for quite some time, but the barbers I've had in my life, ever since I moved to Alabama, were two, and they were brothers.
Okay.
And I only went from one to the other because the other one moved, and I couldn't find it. But I kept it in the family, so I figured that counts.
Dame, we have text coming in on this topic?
We do.
Brand
indeed.
loyalty?
Yeah, 205-834-9450. Brett from Calera, he texted his brand loyalty, Gain washing detergent.
I'm just impressed that Brent does his own laundry.
Yeah, I do too.
Couldn't tell you what kind of detergent we use. Listen, I'm not trying to say like I refuse to do laundry thing like that. It's just like that's just not something that I have. I know where it goes. And
I guess it's different.
I take the clothes there.
Yeah, for me, it's just two me and her as opposed to the five.
But trust me, I've thought about that on weekends. Like Greg's about to embark on one this weekend. That my wife has been out of town or whatnot.
Yeah.
And like if God forbid something would happen to her, I would just have to hire somebody to do the laundry.
Yeah.
It's too much. I walk in there on certain days and it's the entire room like a foot deep. And the next day it'll be gone.
Yep.
I'm like,
I don't know.
Was incredible.
I don't know.
You can do it all. Yeah,
laundry's
so
not
you
that
can
bad.
that.
Okay.
Now folding takes a long
That's
time.
the hardest part.
Folding's the only thing. Like, if you want to separate the laundry from folding, we're on the same. I disagree with you. If you want to include folding in the laundry, now we're on the same page.
I think you're missing part. I don't know if it's hard. I don't know if it's lengthy. I don't know if it's difficult. I have no idea what goes into it. I've been so far removed from that for over a decade that it's just not a real thing. And I've strategically tried to tell you guys, there are certain things that you intentionally screw up in your household. Loading, unloading dishwasher, doing laundry, because you will be asked to never do that again. I've been instructed never to mess with the dishwasher again. Why? Because I messed it up so many times.
Yeah.
I've been instructed not to even try to do laundry because there is a fear that I will ruin things.
Yeah.
Y'all might call that dumb. I call that strategy.
Well, I understand the fear of potentially ruining things, but then again, like, I don't know what your kids are wearing that could potentially be ruined.
That's not the point. The point is I have been asked not to do it. It's not, I don't have to try to get out of it. I have been instructed, don't do it.
Stand by it. It's
there
all
you
good.
go.
Kyle texting, he says Crocs, got a pair at every exterior door.
How many giblets do you have?
That's a good question.
And what teams? And what characters? SpongeBob? Braves? Bama? I need to know. And do you have the athletic Crocs, like the ones that are like more sleek that you apparently can run in? And are you like my 7-year-old? Do you try to play basketball in yours, just asking for a broken ankle? Just curious.
Gotta be careful. Jake texted in. He says Raisin Bran. It stays loyal to me too.
What does that mean?
There's an emoji afterwards that looks like ice cream. That
Okay,
kind of
works.
makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Clears them out.
Well, Raisin Bran's a good cereal. It just needs like 3 times the raisins.
Oh, correct. Yeah, that's it.
No.
Always added in more.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the sugar on them, so they weren't as good.
Of course,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And always sunk to the bottom too, because you're like, what the heck? And then you're just drinking raisin milk.
All right. What else?
Somebody else texts in and says big loyalty to gas stations. Chevron went around town and only stop at exits with Loves when traveling.
Must be a Josh Pate fan. Is that? But why? And I mean this honestly because I do think this matters. I think we're loyal to gas stations for different reasons. One, safety, depending on the part of town you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some that you just look at and say, nope.
Nah, man.
We'll run out of gas 4 miles from here before that happens. 2, what they have inside.
Yeah.
Like the selection of snacks or drinks or different things inside. If it's better at one place, you'll go to that place than the other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's another one that
like Greg's not going to a place that doesn't have 26 millimeter Zins inside.
No.
Whatever it is.
No, not usually. I draw the line at 23. If you're above 23, a little dicey.
One for me, ink pen. Like I got a whole case full of just ink pen, whatever.
Standards.
Those pilots right there, I will not use other.
Yeah.
I almost can't write with anything else.
I'm loyal to Toomey.
Yeah.
What about Toomey? You on that brand? You on that?
We were talking about during the break that I want another one, and I can't make myself pull the trigger.
Loyal to Toomey. I'm loyal to Yeti.
Attaboy.
I'm super loyal to Yeti.
No Stanley around here, is it?
I don't use a cooler that much to like be loyal to it.
Right.
Well, you haven't lived.
Harry has a Yeti backpack.
Yeah, they're
that
great.
He brings to the game.
Oh yeah, their apparel stuff. Yeah.
The only Stanley Cup I care about is in hockey.
Correct.
Bartman says David Sunflower Seeds.
Is there another brand?
Yes, there is, and I had it recently. It's pretty good.
Yeah, probably not.
A lot more on this coming via social, but we'll get to Will Backus on an interesting topic next. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 9 a.m. Wednesday, May the 7th, right here on Jocks 94.5. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We've been talking brand loyalty, brands that you stay loyal to. And who are those brands? What are they? And maybe what walk of life are they in? So we will continue to take your calls, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. You can get in. Also, you can tweet in at Mac and Cube, where a couple of people are chiming in. Will Backus going to be with us at 9:20. Interesting article out at CBSSports.com on coaching hires over the last few years. We will discuss that one. E. Robinson tweeting into the show at Mac and Cube. There it is. I've had the same barber since I was 10 years old. Homeboy since birth. Cuts my dad's hair and EJ's hair. If I'm not shaving myself, no one else is touching his head.
Wow.
JD tweets in, mayonnaise is a big one.
Dukes, Hellman's. I'm good with any of it.
No, my mom swears by Blue
Miracle
Plate.
Whip.
It used to be Miracle Whip back in the day. That's what my grandmother used. Yep.
But
Todd K,
it's not mayonnaise. It's Miracle Whip.
Correct. Todd K tweets in, Allo store opening a store at the Summit this summer, FYI. Great.
Oh, so more traffic. Okay.
Alex tweets in, completely and totally loyal to Bluebell ice cream. Won't eat any other brand.
Hey.
Yeah, we had the guy back there the other day.
Yep.
Bet you will.
You're missing out, though.
There's some.
They sell Bluebell in ice cream shops.
Some.
You don't go. You don't go to those.
I do.
You go to Stone Cold. They got Bluebell ice cream.
Acting like Brewster's doesn't exist.
Yeah, get out of here.
Daddy, you want ice cream?
That's-
Got ice cream at home. You got to wait. No.
First of all, Haagen-Dazs is the best, and it's coming from a Texas guy. It's the cleanest ingredients.
What does that have to do with it? What does Texas have to do with it?
Right, yeah.
Bluebell's made in Texas.
I don't care. Like, what is it?
I didn't know that.
If you're a Texas guy, you just do Texas things. And like usually as a Texas guy, you're eating Bluebell ice cream. And I'm just not doing it.
Like where Tacovas?
No, I'm a Lucchese guy.
Yeah,
Oh.
because they're nicer.
You get your gas at Buc-ee's, right?
Speaking of gas stations, Robbie wants to chime in on the Higginbotham hotline. Robbie, what's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I want to say I drive a 400 and something's going on with my gas gauge for a while. So when it hits 30 miles, it's actually empty. So thank you all for reminding me to.
That has
pull over
happened to
and
me
fill up.
before. That has happened to me
You
before.
can fix that
is a
problem
real
by
thing.
heading over to Royal Buick GMC and
They
picking
fix
out a new
Toyotas?
SUV there.
Oh,
Got it.
That's why they call it the idiot light, just so you know.
Yeah, there you go. That's it's on right now. But yeah. So then also, I'm a history guy. So if I see like an old school, gas station that's like come back, like Texaco had its time, it's kind of coming back.
God, it was dominant back in the day.
Dominant. And I mean, as a kid, there was one in my hometown, and we used to go there all the time. So if I see that, I'm hopping in there, or a Wachovia or a Wavaho Indian with a
Wavaho,
massive.
yep.
I like to support the old school places, or a Gulf. If you're down around
Like a
the
Phillips
Florida
76
area,
coming
so-
back.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents there.
That brought back memories. I can remember when BP was like the future of gas. Like when they started,
yeah.
they opened up, it was like,
Yep.
This is the new gas station. Texaco and Green Springs, man, they had baseball cards. That's where we all went. We all would walk. It would take like an hour and a half to get there.
smart walk.
We'd walk from the apartments. It was a haul. What else were we going to do?
It's worth it. Didn't have internet. Had to entertain
Nothing.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Was it safe?
We had the box on the TV. You had to walk up there and move the little thing to change the channel. It was like the little dial. Like it was a number. So it was like 2 and then a dot and then 4 and then a dot and then 6 and then a dot. And it was like this little triangle. And you walked up there and you had to move it. So we didn't change the channel a lot
No.
in my house. So we got stuck on certain things. Michelle tweets in, are you loyal to a soft drink? Mine are very
Mostly.
intermittent. Like my soft drinks are very much every now and then. And I will say I can cross pollinate there.
Yeah.
It
I
can,
mean,
it can go different
look,
directions.
it's what's available to you. I'm a Dr. Pepper guy.
Right, yeah.
Like Dr. Pepper's my preferred.
SEC guy.
No, I mean I'm Texas. Yeah, that actually is a Texas thing.
yeah.
Like
Dr. Pepper is a Texas
Ice cold
thing?
Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper here.
I'll tell you this.
It's an Alabama thing. Forrest Gump had all of them.
that's true.
That Dr. Pepper sauce at the taco place in College Station, not Torchy's.
Mhm.
The good one. What's it called? The good taco, Fuego.
Good.
Dr. Pepper sauce.
Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. Good Lord. I get it on their breakfast taco. I get the breakfast taco, bacon egg, sausage egg, put the Dr. Pepper sauce on it. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I
I could eat 100 of them.
I think Dr. Pepper's the best. That's my favorite drink. Diet Dr. Pepper is my go-to. If it's available, that's what I'm getting number one. If it's not Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, I don't care. I mean, to be honest with you, I like both. I like both fine. Like, I mean, I can definitely tell the difference.
I think it depends on like the kind of soft drink, because I'm pretty sure if Mountain Dew's not available, nobody's going mellow.
Can I be honest with you? I have recently had a Diet Mountain Dew, and it's been a minute since I've had Mountain Dew. It might be back in the rotation.
It hits.
Yeah, it might be back in the rotation.
That's also part of it. Like the only time that I ever have a Diet Mountain Dew is in here. If I need like a real pick me up, if I'm struggling, that's it, and it works.
And the cocaine doesn't work. Like what? Like when we like what?
Yeah, I think you can look at me and tell that's not a problem.
Oh, the smelling salts aren't working today. I'll just drink a Diet Mountain Dew.
I'm out of smelling salts, by the way. You just reminded me I need to order something.
Oh boy,
I'm out.
Like, are you kidding?
Pudgy Mortgage tweets in: Marvis toothpaste is life changing. You will drop crest after one brush.
One brush.
Wow. I'll take the over.
Not a whole brushing, just shh.
Oh, okay.
Like one right to left.
Game changer.
I don't even know if I've ever seen this. Marvis toothpaste. Oh, it's an old school brand. This is like, this reminds me of.
Yeah, you can.
There was this shaving cream that was in a similar tube, and I used to always have to have it, and then you can only get it certain places, and so I was like, "This is a pain in the rear. I'm not using this anymore."
Yeah.
Speaking of which, is there another shaving cream besides Barbasol from back in the day?
What's the best flavor of Marvis? I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah,
this looks like something I would like.
There are.
I know they're now, but I felt like it was just Barbasol back then.
It was. No, I think there was I think there was a competitor. Colgate, I think, made shave cream back in the day. Yeah. But you can't use the regular Barbasol anymore.
Marvis is made in Italy.
So it's going to take a while to get here.
I was wondering why these prices are kind of expensive.
$13.50 for the whitening.
Right.
Hug on tariffs, man.
Marvelous whitening, $30 a tube. All right. Tommy Wyndham tweets in: my company phone's iPhone, personal Galaxy. Love the Galaxy. You're one of four. Alexander Nevermind tweets in: I wouldn't switch to iPhone if someone paid me for it. I'm happy with my Android. Galaxy works just fine. There's two of the four. And the third texted in. So there's one more you out there somewhere. I'm the exact opposite.
No.
If you paid me $1,000 a month, I wouldn't use Galaxy. No.
Ooh.
You can have it.
We got one in on text. AC text in: Ritz crackers only, nothing else, period.
It depends on what you're using them for.
Ow.
I agree that the round Ritz cracker is the end all be all for everything.
Yes.
False.
Now, saltines have their place.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think?
1,000%.
Yeah. Chicken noodle soup, tomato soup, whatever it is. Like,
Jelly,
you're just having the cracker, though.
Correct.
The buttered cracker from Ritz is fine. It's not the end all be all.
It's a standard. Now, if you want to go fancy, which is I'm going to bet where you're going, you get that club cracker. That's legit.
I don't know which one that is.
The rectangle in the green box. The ones at a lot of restaurants that they have in the plastic and you open them.
Oh, that's like just a standard saltine.
No, that is square. I'm talking rectangle. Do you know the difference in shapes?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, square is actually a rectangle. A rectangle is not a square.
Is the earth flat?
It depends on who you ask.
It's got.
Club cracker has taste. Saltine really does not. No one eats saltines by themselves all the time.
Occasionally, but if you have one, you don't stop. Like I don't, but I like. It's kind of mood based. Like I'll.
It's fair. You're also one of those guys that likes the
Triscuits.
Oh, you're a psychopath.
Yeah. No, they're fine.
Seriously, I don't trust.
They're not the preference.
Do you vape also?
I'm gonna start.
You might as well. If you eat Triscuits solo, you might as well vape.
No, I'm
together. By the way, Triscuit flavored vape.
Buddy of mine tweets in Melba. Now these are good.
Wait, like Melba toast?
Yes.
Oh, that's some nonsense right
That's
there.
a cracker.
If you want to lose the roof of your mouth, yeah, it's great.
Some
if you're soft, and you need the roof of your mouth, and that's on you. Roof of my mouth's already been ruined.
But there's so many there's so many different kinds now. Like there are 52 flavors of wheat thins, and then they have the chip wheat thins, and there's 40 flavors of those. Like it's just there's so many options now. It's hard to say.
Wheat thins are delicious.
I love wheat thins.
What's a Cheez-It? Is a Cheez-It a cracker?
Yes.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
Agree. I mean a chip. I don't know. We're talking about
not a chip. No.
You're talking. What about a gram
of
cracker?
Zen.
That's a milligram.
Graham crackers are one of my mental cheats. I convince myself they're not bad for you, and I know good and well they're not good for you. So like I snack on graham crackers a lot because like sweet potato fries. I convince myself they're not that bad.
No, it's superfood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super tasty.
You need some more of that graham. knowing they're not good for you. And then I eat the whole pack. And it's like, that couldn't have been good.
Not important. There's a lot of good crackers, but it's all mood dependent. Like if it's a charcuterie board, it's different than me putting a little pimento cheese or peanut butter on there. Like it's a very different experience.
What would your go-to be for pimento cheese if it was just in a bowl and you wanted to scoop some on a cracker?
Finger.
Wow. Nah.
Well, why waste time with a cracker?
See, mine would be wheat then because it wouldn't break.
Yeah, it would probably be. Oh my gosh! I just typed in best crackers, and the first thing that popped up is
Antonio
best crackers
Brown?
for pimento cheese.
Oh, that's a Cooper DeJean.
I would have to be honest with you. I don't eat like a ton of crackers.
Did you just say you thought it was going to be Cooper DeJean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he Antonio Brown? All right.
Wow.
By the way, I came across something the other day.
That's what we're doing today?
This is way off base here. Why does Don Beebe not get credit for being the first football IQ, good route runner,
Possession receiver? I don't know.
No.
Everybody always goes to Amendola and those guys. But Don Beebe was doing that in 1989.
So wasn't he like a special teamer?
No, he was receiver. That was Steve Tasker you're thinking of.
Oh, what's the difference?
Not a lot on that team. They're very similar by stature and look. Number was the difference, I think. Sorry, go ahead. Best cracker for pimento cheese. What is it?
Saltines. They're neutral in flavor without tasting like cardboard.
Which Triscuit does.
Yeah.
And Melba Toast does.
It's all that, but Triscuit, Melba Toast are different textures. We're talking
Nick
standard
says,
cracker.
Never go cheap on 3 things: Duke's mayo, Heinz ketchup, and Charmin extra soft toilet paper. I will say, toilet paper is one thing that's worth spending on.
Correct.
And
yes.
paper towels. Because you can have those brown paper towels like we have that literally, you put them on water and just nothing happens.
Yeah, repel water.
It literally pushes it away.
Yep.
Who got away with that? Who made that and took it into the meeting and said, guys, look at this. Okay, let's test it. Okay, guy, it didn't do anything. Yeah, but it pushed it away. It cost 7 cents to make. Sell it. Tell them they have to have it. It literally doesn't work.
I'm looking at, now you got me down a rabbit hole of different
Larry
crackers.
Faulkner tweets in, Holderness and Bowen over Peter Millar every day of the week. Great show.
6 and 1/2 dozen. Right. They're both great.
Greg's boy. Okay.
Glenn Oppert, New Balance. Decent shoe made in the USA. So you're brand loyal to a decent shoe?
You see the new Otanis? You gonna cop or pass?
The new Otanis?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't play baseball anymore, so I don't really have a need for cleats, but.
Oh, no.
Are you buying spikes this week?
No, the New Balance Otani ones.
For baseball or to walk around in?
Walk around or walking around shoes.
I haven't seen them.
They got an all black pair.
I haven't seen the tape.
Yeah, you can get the all blacks. Those look sweet. That actually feels like you. There you go. Look at that. Oh, for when I'm playing baseball in the yard with Judge and Locke.
I mean, I didn't know if they were
great
trainers or cleats or.
They're highly rated for comfort, satisfaction, and fit. I'm buying a pair right now. Watch
Royal
this.
Pain, Duke's Mayo, Dr. Pepper. Add me to Team Android and Samsung Galaxy.
Gosh, you guys and your
But I got your back on PFF, Cole. Yes, Captain's Wafer is what Glenn's talking about. I think Club Cracker Captain's Wafer are the same thing. It's like Coke and Pepsi. Yeah, they're both great. I remember my grandfather, he had I don't know if it was I think it was an Impala. It was gold, which there's not a good-looking gold car in America,
That's
ever.
Not true.
Show it to me.
Okay.
Show me an attractive gold vehicle. And I'm not talking like Floyd Mayweather wrapping his in 14 karat. That's not what I'm talking about. Like a good-looking gold car. I want to see it.
Done.
That is wrapped, number one.
That is not wrapped. That is a gold car. That is a gold
Lamborghini. Okay, now a car that an average human would drive.
This is wrapped.
A car that an average human would drive. Show me
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Version.
You didn't tell me that there was a caveat of you must be an average human to drive this.
Lamborghini,
you said good-looking gold car.
I don't think that's a standard color either. I think they wrapped that.
That's not wrapped. That's standard.
Nonetheless, he had a.
There you go. That's you.
Those are hideous. Every single one of them. All of them.
Chryslers.
The
Don't you drive
gross.
one?
No.
Yeah, you do.
My wife drives an Odyssey.
No,
you want to talk about brand loyalty? That's about as strong as it gets for her.
Same thing.
We have tried hard to get her onto a different vehicle. It ain't happening.
Porsche.
It's not attractive. It looks awful.
I mean, it's not the color I would pick, but it doesn't look that bad.
Right, because it doesn't look good. That's why you wouldn't pick it.
It's not that bad.
he had a 1977, 80 4-door Impala, and that little glove compartment you had to twist the knob. It was a silver knob. You had to twist it, and the glove compartment came open. And he was like a big golfer, and he always had just a giant bushel of Captain's wafers in there. And so when I would ride with him, I'd get in the front, open them up, and I would just start housing Captain's wafers because they had him where he played golf, and he would throw them in his golf bag, and then he would take them out of his bag and put them in the car. That was my favorite thing, riding around with him.
That's you right there.
Old Pop. That's not me. I would never drive
It's
that.
a lowrider. It's a lowrider minivan.
If it wasn't gold, I might consider it. A guy in my neighborhood has a murdered out minivan, all black. Black wheels, black rims, everything. And I'm like, you know what? I don't hate it.
Okay. I got no problem with
I
the
don't
minivan.
hate it. I appreciate the effort to be Rob Dyrdek in a minivan.
That ain't riding dirty. That's riding clean.
Fair.
We'll just agree to disagree there.
Any others, Damien? Last minute text coming in on this?
Yeah, we actually got the Captain's Wafers Mountain Dew Zero. They said it's a totally different recipe.
I'll stick with Diet Dew.
I'll go.
I've tried both.
I'll tell you another one that people are fiercely loyal to. Tools. Like I'm a Milwaukee guy. I'm never not going to own Milwaukee tools. Just not going to happen. I don't know.
I thought you were a Texas guy.
I'm a Milwaukee guy. Oh, I like Cobalt. Zip it. All right.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm a craftsman.
Tools is not something that I have really.
Yeah, well, that's because you.
My sponsor, Jimmy Johnson. Like, why would I be? Why would I?
You outsource your handiwork. Like I do it myself.
No, I don't actually. I just whatever is in the toolbox is what comes out and gets used. I haven't needed a new hammer in like 100 years.
And I
think my great grandfather had this hammer.
I used to be very.
It's made in Croatia.
I used to be very into like gas powered power tools. The battery powered Egos are the best ones I've ever had.
Yep.
They are. They're the best. I mean,
it's environmentally friendly as well.
I don't care about that. The guy that I don't even know if I should say this, but the guy that built it, he goes, "Oh, is that a Biden lawnmower?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, I wasn't about that. Like, I mean, golly. I mean, I just bought it. It works great.
So good. Stephen Madrid tweets in, says, "Still using the calculator with printer paper receipt." I bet I know what brand it is. Texas Instruments.
Yep.
Is there another?
I just combined our last two topics right there. Boom.
Casio? I don't know. Would that be one? Sorry, I don't have my calculator brands handy. But the fact that thing still works is pretty awesome.
I don't even know if they call it Texas Instruments anymore. I think it's TI.
Oh, they shortened it up.
Yeah, not TIP. Different
I was going to say, TI's got some great tracks.
In Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay, when we come back, Will Backus has an article out now on the worst college football hires in recent memory. Who's at the top of his list? You'll find out next on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 9:22, Wednesday, May the 7th, right here on Jocks 94.5. Before we get to Will Backus and talk about bad coaching hires, Greg, tell our listeners about Crocker Moving Services.
They're a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. You can trust them in your home. They need your whole home packed up and move. Your company headquarters moved across country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. These guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you've purchased and need to get to your home. So call or visit them online today for a free quote. The website is crockermovingservices.com. It's crockermovingservices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Services for your next move.
Worst coaching hires of the last decade. 15 of them. Will Backus has ranked those. And before we get into the actual who's, Will, take us through your criteria for how you graded the 15 worst coaching hires of the last decade.
Yeah, it was, I'd like to tell you that it was a really complex mathematical formula that, used a lot of empirical data that is completely infallible. I mean, no, really, it was just, obviously record matters, right? How did they actually perform on the field while they were there? A lot of these guys had losing records and didn't last very long. I also looked at what were some of the off-field things. Did they get wrapped up in an NCAA investigation? Did they, have an affair? Like what was going on with them off the field, right? Any kind of controversy. And I think context was also important. Did they inherit a stable program and ran it into the ground, or was did their tenure leave the program in a state where the person that came after them had to do a lot of picking up, right? So I think that those were the important things that I kind of focused on when coming up with this list.
Was it difficult to omit a few candidates? I mean, we'll get to those that are on the list right now, but who were some that were maybe just off that were under consideration?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was kind of a fun exercise, right? Because it's the off season, there's not a whole lot going on. And to be honest, a lot of this was kind of crowdsourced from some of my peers at CBS Sports. So we had a good time throwing a bunch of different names around. And I think there's a lot that are just outside of that kind of decade cut that didn't make the cut that I still really considered, like Charlie Strong at Texas. You could probably make an entire list of bad Tennessee coaching hires in the post-Phil Fulmer era. But I feel pretty confident in the 15 that I've narrowed down here. And it started at 10. And we were just like, there's so many that we kind of need to expand it a little bit.
Will Backus of CBS Sports joining us on the Buyers Right Hotline, his 15 worst hires of the last decade. Let's just go to number one, get it out of the way. Chad Morris at Arkansas. And as you stated before, the record speaks for itself, 4-18, and did not win a conference game.
Yeah, he's the only coach in Arkansas history that's made it a full year that did not win a single conference game. It's honestly one of those hires that was kind of a head scratcher at the time, right? Like, obviously he was a successful offensive coordinator at Clemson. He was at SMU, and I know he got to SMU after, it wasn't necessarily, he came after a 1-11 season. So SMU wasn't in the great spot when he got there, and he did improve them each year, but he still didn't kind of hit that level at SMU where you would expect, all right, this guy's ready for the SEC, And so for Arkansas to go out and go after him, especially off of pretty decent years under Brett Bielema, I know he flamed out at the end, but the program was relatively stable, right? And then you kind of take a swing on a guy like Chad Morris, who just clearly was not ready for the jump in competition. His attempt to transition Arkansas immediately into a new offensive style didn't work out. Nothing worked. And it's one of those where, again, you look at the lingering effects. Obviously, Sam Pittman really had his work cut out for him, turning that program around. And it's still kind of in a uncertain state, and so it really put Arkansas behind. So I think that's what, it took a really historic Arkansas program and put it to where now we're talking about Arkansas as like, well, it'll be good if they get to a bowl game.
But how much of it has to do with circumstances? I mean, they had recently, just a couple years earlier, they had just 5-6 years earlier, the A&M had jumped in the mix, which made Arkansas much more difficult. You were transitioning from a fullback to tight end, run downhill philosophy with Bielema, and trying to go all of a sudden into 10 personnel where you got 4 wide receivers on the field and 1 running back. I mean, I feel like considering the philosophical change and the 180 it required, he got dealt a bit of a bad hand. I'm not being an excuse maker on his behalf, but it does feel circumstantially like that was a really tough spot to be in.
Yeah. I mean, it is definitely a tough spot. And, I had initially talked a little bit more about the transition offensively in the article before cutting it down. But, yeah, I mean, that was like a complete 180 in styles. And, obviously he didn't have the personnel to pull that off at Arkansas when he first got there, because this was even before the transfer portal era where you could just completely rebuild your roster overnight and get the guys that you want to fit into your scheme. And so, I do think that context is important. And obviously you mentioned, the SEC expansion makes it a lot harder for Arkansas to kind of recruit in its area and pull in a lot of talent in this area, just selling on, hey, SEC, that's a big difference for us, because Texas A&M came in. Now you've also got Texas in the mix there, Oklahoma, all those kind of teams in the region that can sell that SEC brand. And they're also just traditionally really great blue blood programs that pull in a lot of talent. So yeah, Arkansas is becoming an even more difficult school to win at and have consistent success at. And Chad Morris definitely came in at a time where he didn't get the benefit of the transfer portal, didn't get benefit of NIL. It was still pretty early into that, Texas A&M transition to the SEC. And so that definitely did make it more difficult for him. Now, the fact that there was absolutely no improvement between year 1 and year 2, I think was the sign that, okay, things probably aren't going to get a whole lot better. We just probably need to nip this in the bud while we can and try to go out and get our guy.
We're talking with Will Backus of CBS Sports. His article up now, the top 15 worst hires over the last decade in college football. And I guess a little bit of a follow-up to where Greg was going with that, because I was kind of thinking, too, there are a lot of these that I'm not sure who they could have brought in at that time that was going to make a big difference. They just happened to make it worse. Which coach do you think had the most excitement when they were hired that ended up on your list? That might also be Chad Morris, but like some of these I look at and I think there were some real question marks when people knew that they were going to be brought in. Like I think people got behind Herm Edwards and they were like, man, this guy, NFL pedigree, like obviously charismatic. He's going to be able to come in and make a difference. We knew what Kevin Sumlin's offense could do. Everyone, actually, Scott Frost at 13 may be the guy because he was the answer to all the problems. But where would you go with probably highest expectations who ended up in your top 15?
I would say definitely Scott Frost. And a lot of these entries are, or a few of them are, we kind of have the gift of hindsight and we can look back and be like, yeah, that really did not work out. But there were a few at the time, like you mentioned, Scott Frost, that people were really excited about and people should have been excited about. I mean, Scott Frost, he won a national championship at UCF, depending on who you ask. So like that was, he revitalized that program. He had an exciting offense. He was going to bring an exciting brand of football to a Nebraska program that had stagnated, under Mike Riley. And I think that was one that you can look back on and kind of scratch your head and be like, I'm not entirely sure how that didn't work out. Of course, if you pick it apart, recruiting probably wasn't where it would need to be for a Nebraska team. A lot of the offensive transition just didn't necessarily work out. He didn't do a great job of developing Nebraska's quarterbacks. But yeah, that was one at the time that you could look at and think, this is an exciting move for Nebraska. This is what Nebraska needs to really revitalize the program and get some energy back into it. It just fell flat on its face. I would also say Kevin Sumlin at Arizona. Obviously, he didn't get Texas A&M to the level that people would want Texas A&M to get at, but he was a solid enough recruiter. Won some postseason games, had a couple decent years at Texas A&M. So to go somewhere like Arizona, where at the time they played in the Pac-12 wide open conference, obviously a little bit less, stiff competition than you'd get in the SEC. Maybe that's a place that he could flourish a little more, but again, just kind of fell flat on his face there.
What would be, Just looking at a few others, you got a bunch of options here. It's a hard list to put together, bud. I don't envy you, but there are a few others. One in particular that is close to home here with Brian Harsin and other things. So when you look at that one in particular, what do you think went wrong for Brian Harsin?
I just think it was a horrible fit. You know, I mentioned in the article, it was during a time where Auburn had a relatively inexperienced athletic director. It was his first really big hire at an SEC school. Sometimes that works out, you know, like Danny White, you know, obviously he's got a good administrative background, but Tennessee was his first huge stop, and he did a really good job to get Josh Heupel from UCF. So sometimes those young athletic directors that take a swing on a group of five guy can work out. Did not at Auburn. And it also didn't help that, you know, from my understanding, Auburn the Harsin hire just didn't have the backing of the boosters. It didn't have the backing of the people that mattered. And so it kind of just felt like from the start, you know, he's got an anchor attached to him, right? And it just kind of felt like unless he comes here and just completely blows things out of the water, his time is measured. It was also a bit of a hectic coaching search. And so it just seemed like a poor marriage from the start, a bad culture fit. It became pretty clear early on that he just wasn't ready to recruit in the SEC, where talent acquisition is paramount. And he just could not keep Auburn up to that standard of recruiting that you need to keep up with the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world. So I just think it was a poor culture fit, poor marriage, you know, between Auburn and Harsin. And then obviously there was some of the off-field stuff that they got embroiled in a little bit too, that came out during his tenure at Auburn. And so, yeah, just a poor fit.
All right. I have one more question for you on this, Will, and it doesn't necessarily pertain to your article, but doing research on this, putting it together, like you said, talking to your peers, was there a coach or two or maybe more that immediately came to mind that you feel like is currently active that if you were to do this again in a couple of years would end up on your new list?
Yeah. Bill Belichick. I know that's an extremely hot take. We can go into that more, but I just do not see that working out. I would say Brent Brennan at Arizona has a chance of going that way.
I think let's just stay with Belichick. I actually like your direction there.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying that I'm 100% on board, but I would like to know kind of why you're that far down the road with it.
It's been 3 months since he was hired, probably 5. You know, time goes weird now without football on, and they're already dealing with a shadowy Emperor Palpatine figure in the background and his girlfriend that's apparently pulling all the strings. That's not really a controversy that you want to sign up for a brand new head coach. You know, that's not exciting. That's not a really great way to start a tenure. And I also just always, clearly Bill Belichick knows more about football than I'll ever, or has forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. You know, 7-time Super Bowl champion. He's got the verifiables, but I think age is a huge question with him. I also am just never confident in a guy that hasn't had any college football experience coming into college football right now and being able to just hit the ground running. I know college football is trending kind of towards the NFL model, and there's some similarities with NIL and revenue sharing on the horizon, but it's just a completely different animal. Like, recruiting's different. The way you structure a program is different. The way you deal with the players is different because they're still not professionals, so you have to deal with them entirely in an entirely different way. And so, you know, I think it's always hard for guys that have never coached in college football or guys that have been out of college football for a while to jump right back into the game. I think North Carolina would have been a lot better suited going out and getting a younger guy that could bring more energy into the program, maybe like a guy like John Sumrall at Tulane, who's, I think, is going to be a power conference head coach probably next year. Or if not next year, in the next couple years, or maybe a young coordinator that you're really excited about, especially coming off the Mac Brown era where, you know, that he was just kind of a very stagnant program with Matt Brown. I'm just not sure Bill Belichick, regardless of what he did in the NFL, is the right guy to give North Carolina the kind of energy it needs to move forward in the ACC.
Great stuff, Will. Thanks for hopping on with us, man. Fun article, fun discussion. You did a great job with it. We look forward to having you back soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate y'all.
Anytime. Talk to you soon. That's Will Backus of CBS Sports joining us on the Buyers Right Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. If there's one coach on that list, Greg, that you would excuse, who would that coach be? For those that don't know, I'll give you the top 15 quickly. Number one, as we mentioned, was Chad Morris. Les Miles at Kansas, 2. Think about when he went there, though. It was rough. Ryan Walters, Purdue. Willie Taggart, Florida State. Jeremy Pruitt, Tennessee. Jeff Collins, Georgia Tech. Mike Riley, Nebraska. Jimmy Lake, Washington. Herm Edwards, Arizona State. Brian Harsin, Auburn. Mel Tucker, Michigan State. Kevin Sumlin, Arizona. Scott Frost, Nebraska. Nick Rolovich, Washington State. Chris Ash, Rutgers.
Which one would I excuse?
Yeah, or not completely, but maybe give more benefit of the doubt than the others as to this just wasn't going to work at that time.
Yeah.
Like I look at the Rolovich thing and that was just a lot of other stuff that if that wasn't going on, he may have been a really good head coach.
Might have been.
Now, some of that was his doing.
How successful can you be at Washington State over the last few years too? I mean, I know that.
Not a ton, it doesn't feel like since Leach. I mean.
It's a tough spot.
I think the Mike Riley one, that just was going to be almost impossible. Also Jeff Collins, you're transferring from triple option transferring. You're taking triple option personnel and trying to rebuild a program. That's not an easy task, man.
To me, it's pretty easy. It's Brian Harsin. Brian Harsin's a good coach, but because of the old boys club that is Auburn football, it was never going to work. It was never going to work. And the amount of undermining that was done throughout his tenure was miraculous. And yet people look at Jarquez Hunter and some of the other guys he got Jarquez Hunter and everyone pitched a fit how he didn't recruit. Now he didn't have Jarquez Hunter was the best player on the team. Brian Harsin recruited him.
There were a lot of things working against him. And there are a lot of things.
He could have won. I mean, he went to the Alabama game, the Iron Bowl that one year. Maybe things are different.
No, it was going to happen.
Even if he wins,
it was going to happen.
It didn't matter.
It was going to happen.
He wasn't going to play the game.
There were a lot of decisions that were made that he was not going to continue to be the head coach after a certain amount of time. It just was.
Zero shot.
That's what it was.
So, I mean, if he was given any chance whatsoever, I still believe he could have had success. It's amazing to me how many diehard Auburn friends of mine refuse to acknowledge that is a possibility that could have occurred. Refuse to acknowledge. No, you never would have worked. Never would have worked. Never didn't fit. If you gave him a chance, you just never know. You never know.
All right, so you can tweet yours in. Let us know what you're thinking and about that list. We'll have more commentary on it when we return right here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you tuning in. Worst 15 coaching hires of the last decade. Just ran through that list a moment ago. And there are some ugly ones on there. Do you agree or disagree with number one being Chad Morris as the worst? 4-18, 0-14 in SEC play.
I don't think it's entirely fair to put him as the worst. Because it was too much. A lot of these are so circumstantial, partly because Chad Morris, they wanted him to run a style that would allow them to better recruit Texas. That was why he was hired. So he brought in a 4 wide receiver set, try to get more athletic, try to get more speed. It succeeded in some areas in improving their personnel at wide receiver, but Brett Bielema was recruiting running backs and offensive linemen. So it was a complete 180. Because the leadership at Arkansas wanted it to look a certain way because they thought that they would give them better opportunities in Texas to recruit against A&M. And that wasn't going to work.
It's amazing how those singular-minded facets of running a college football program seem to never work.
Of course
or really seem to get in the way of finding true success or sustainable success. You can find sustainable success for your health at Game Day Men's Health. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now. Schedule a free consultation. You're going to get a free PSA test, free testosterone test. So if you're feeling like you lack energy, if you're on edge, if you get poor sleep, could be the effects of low testosterone, and Game Day Men's Health want to help you with that. If you're overweight, multiple weight loss programs right now at Game Day Men's Health that can help you get the weight off. Peptides in stock now for other ailments that they want to help you with. Holistic approach to health and wellness. And keep in mind, minimal upfront cost for the programs that they offer at Game Day Men's Health. Great people, no stress. Not going to try to push you into things that you don't need. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now. Schedule that consultation for free. And you can go ahead and get that set up for yourself today. All right, we talked about some of the worst coaching hires, and I agree with you, circumstantial. However, to be that bad, and then you heard about some of the things happening in the locker room. Like, remember, I can't remember if he took the logos off the helmets or he wouldn't let guys dress in the locker room. Like there was a locker room that only the guys that were playing could dress in. It was like some elementary stuff like that you just said, okay, this is next level bad. Like this is just. But I will say he has to be in the discussion of having the biggest expectations of these guys we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, because when he was coming off the Clemson job, like he was, and remember, he took SMU when they were literally in the ditch, in the gutter.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden, because I had them against Memphis, who was that quarterback from Memphis? He got drafted high.
Yeah.
Paxton Lynch. That was it. He threw seriously, Paxton. I need to go back and look up this game. I'll look it up during the break. His numbers were insane. They were like 0-12 that year. And then they were actually pretty good the next year. Like he kind of got them going to an extent. And everybody was excited. I think Willie Taggart had some real excitement at Florida State because of what he had done at Western Kentucky and South Florida. I don't know if people really looked at Jeremy Pruitt and said, oh yeah, this is going to get it done. This is going to turn it around. Mike Riley, I don't know if the excitement was truly there. So I don't know. I would have to think that the Kevin Sumlin discussion was interesting, but I do think a lot of people kind of like Kevin Sumlin. There's a lot of luster gone after A&M. Scott Frost will be up there. Scott Frost or Chad Morris have to be the ones that had the most excitement before they took those jobs.
Yeah, I would think the Scott Frost, though, was for all the wrong reasons. Like, oh, he's an alumni. He knows what it takes. Blood. Like, just because he's an alumni doesn't mean he knows what it takes to get a place that can't win back on track. I mean, I think that's why I love the Matt Rule hire is he's a program builder, a guy that won at Temple of all places.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an almost impossible place to win. So I think it's pretty amazing. I mean, really amazing, actually, when you take it into account that he was able to get it done as well as he was able to get it done, because I don't know for sure, and I'm not an expert here, but I don't know for sure if anyone would be able to win at Nebraska, at least trying to create the Nebraska speed, fast, all that stuff. I think it's just there's an overreach.
Okay. So we'll put that to rest. Come back. Couple things to close up the show when we get back. First, tell our listeners about the Regions Golf Tournament coming up this weekend.
Well, Regions can be great. It's actually a week from today. We'll be teeing it up in one of my favorite events of the year, the Drummond Company Celebrity Pro-Am. The lineup stacked: Nick Saban, Charles Barkley, Nate Oates, Hugh Freeze, the country music star Riley Green. Everyone will be out there. And then on Thursday, the Champions Tour Major Championship gets underway. Golf favorites like John Daly, Ernie Els, Stuart Sink will all battle it out on the course. And there's more than just golf. You can swing by the White Claw watering hole featuring the White Claw Wave Bar and the Mayomi Wine Lounge that are open to the public. You got food trucks, you got Coca-Cola Spectator Village, and a Saturday concert with the Monsters of Yacht right out to the play. So it's all in support of Children's of Alabama. It's a week you do not want to miss. So get your tickets now at regentstradition.com.
All right, when we come back, we'll finish up today's show. More college football news and notes on the way out next. Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9:52, Wednesday, May 7th, right here on Jocks 94.5. Where were you on Will Backus's thoughts of Bill Belichick at North Carolina?
I'm okay with it.
Is it getting harder to imagine that this goes well for a lot of different reasons?
I was anti this move from the very beginning. Doesn't mean it can't work. Just means it feels unlikely. Like you're not a hater if you're doubtful. I mean, you're not a hater if you're doubtful. Am I wrong? Like, I think people always assume, like, oh,
he's given us a lot of reasons to start to doubt.
No, I have great
maybe not
success.
him, but people around him.
You can still respect what he's accomplished. You can respect what he could do, but you also have to acknowledge at the same time that, well, there's also a real possibility that it doesn't work.
And we doubted it because of his personality and his lack of college experience before all this exterior stuff started going on.
Correct.
Wondered how his personality would vibe with college players, how he would react to some of the demands that college players are not just making, but getting away with in today's college football.
Yeah.
Could he adapt to that? And now you have some of the extra peripheral stuff that's coming in, and looks like it's going to be even more problematic. But they're getting some players.
Yep.
Now,
it's true.
$4 million for 2 years of Gio Lopez feels like a smidge of an overspend. But I also don't know exactly what everybody has spent on their quarterbacks. I mean, Darren Mensah got what, 4.5 from Tulane to go to Duke?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever believe the numbers.
That's a number that I have a pretty decent idea of.
It's a pretty good number. It's a whole heap.
And maybe some programs, Greg, are just saying, we got to go get a quarterback, no matter what the cost, that can at least be better than what we have, and then we'll figure everything else out.
Right.
Like that has to happen first, or else we're in trouble. Big trouble.
Imagine that.
Which you kind of understand it, but not to the extent that it hampers your depth or your frontline ability at almost every other position. I don't know what North Carolina's NIL situation is. I have no idea. I don't know where they are with a lot of things. So we'll see. Royal Automotive, I do know, is where the spring savings event is taking place. My friends at Royal Automotive want to help you experience how car buying should be. 4 Royal-owned dealerships in one location. Selection and savings unmatched. Like I talked about earlier, they've put me in the Buick before. Absolutely love driving it. I've been in the Volvo SUV before. XC60, XC90. You're going to love those. You guys know exactly what the Yukon Denali's are. They do have the new Hummers, which every time I go by and see one, I'm like, goodness gracious, would I love to have one of those. They just look impeccable. I'm in the GMC Sierra, though, and they have a litany of those. A lot to go look at and a lot to choose from with great rates right now. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Royal Automart, Volvo Cars of Vestavia Hills, all at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 of Vestavia. Online at royalautomotive.net. Make Royal your first and last stop when car shopping. Remember, for every ride, there's Royal. It's not often that a behind-the-scenes person that is in tow with the coach ends up costing them their job. Like, we see the behind-the-scenes people that are affiliated with the universities cause a lot of problems and cause a lot of people jobs.
Yes.
This is almost, I don't want to say completely uncharted water, but it's different. It's very different if this is the way it goes for North Carolina.
It's different. There's no denying that. It's very different from what I anticipated, that's for sure.
Thanks to Craig Stevenson of AL.com stopping by. Will Backus of CBS Sports for stopping by. If you missed any of those, JocksFM.com is where you can go get the podcast, get the Jocks app. You can go rewatch the show on YouTube every single day. We're there live every single morning. And 3-Man Front follows us every single day, just like they will today. We'll be back tomorrow right here on Jocks 94.5.